America show. Robnoerr, after his big partying day yesterday. Yeah! Was just partying. Didn't stream at all. Didn't do the morning stream. Didn't do the evening stream. Woo! I was not partying. That is not what was going on. The daytime show, I had some stuff going on that I was doing regarding talking about, I don't know why I'm being vague about it. I was talking about setting up like an LLC and stuff like that. So I was trying to get stuff like that done. Talking to a lawyer, talking to a friend, getting it all set up. And plus I was pretty tired from the night before. So I took a little nap. The evening show I was ready to do, and we were going to talk a lot about the response video Andrew Wilson put out. Now, not just because Andrew's my friend, but also because I think it gives a good clue on particularly how, if you're a bigger streamer or a bigger person, how sort of these like drive-by hits go when it comes to smearing people based on little clips. So maybe we'll still talk about that tonight. Problem is, right as I was about to go live, I saw Andrew went live. So I was like, okay, let's redo the show. Let's do something different. And my wife was like, why don't we just watch a movie? So we watched the new Naked Gun movie, which was pretty good. It's all right. I don't think it was as good as the Leslie Nielsen like Naked Gun movies, but wasn't bad. My favorite joke in it was at one point, small spoilers if you haven't seen the new Naked Gun movie. There's a scene where Liam Neeson, the main character, he's talking about his mom. I don't know if you know the style of humor from those movies, but I can't remember how they get into the joke, but he's implying that his mom had a strong arm, could throw the football very well, and like the other person's not getting it. And he's like, we would have been happy with any team except the Browns. So as a Browns hater, I was like, yes! So, yeah, it was pretty good. It's cringe, but the Naked Gun movies were always cringe. That's sort of the point. It's like dad humor. Yeah, so that's it. I didn't have anything like, I don't have a great excuse, but we're going to make up for it. We're going to have a great show today, a morning show and evening show. Then we'll do a show again tomorrow. We'll do one Sunday. So we're going to do great. Yeah, Avarice was telling me about the speakeasy panel, and I guess some people shit talking and what have. I mean, I don't know. I guess if they come over here, I'll say something to it, but I'm not looking. I mean, I guess the truth of the matter is, once you're to the point where, people know you a little, you're going to start having people shitting on you, this, that, and the other. So if anyone has anything to say to me, they always know I'm here. I got a call-in show. They can feel free to call in and give whatever shit they would like to me. I don't mind at all. And yet you'll see that they won't be around. That's usually the case. Big tough guy talkers until you're actually talking to them, and it turns out they don't have anything to say. My morning is great. It's been a great morning. So, of course, we have the call-in show today. What's the topic? What do you guys think we should talk about? There's one story that caught my eye that I haven't had a chance to talk about yet. Anybody have a clue what it is? I think it's a big story. Of course, on the call-in show, you can talk about whatever you like. I like naps. Naps sound good. But no, there is. One second. No, we don't want to like that. Candace Owens, don't even know about the story. Would Candace, the white January 6th pipe bomber. Yeah, I saw that Jake Tapper called him white. But the pipe bomber, they arrested. It's surreal. So we'll talk a little about that. Obviously, that's going to be the show this evening. We're going to heavily go into that. So for the call-in show today, we'll talk about it briefly, but give you all an opportunity to talk about whatever you like. What's the Candace Owens stuff? Oh, she's going hard at turn. Yeah, did she officially say she thinks Turning Point killed? Is that what happened? Or is she just implying it, or that they exploited Charlie in some way? Did she go so far as to say they killed him? Look at this, you guys. She thinks it's Turning Point USA or Israel. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I just got to be honest. I haven't watched any of the Candace Owens stuff. I'm just going to give you my feeling on it. I think she's fucking crazy. Um, I do. I think that. Look, all right, we'll talk about this just for a second. One of my favorite people in the world is Alex Jones. Candace doesn't have the appeal to me that Alex Jones did. I absolutely love listening to Alex Jones. And, Alex got sued for over $1 billion for Sandy Hook stuff, and he's came out and apologized and said that it's wrong and this, that, and the other. I think that lawsuit's absolutely disgusting. I think it's designed to censor a guy that has said things that the establishment doesn't like. Now, here's the thing. When everything's a conspiracy, you're going to be right sometimes. And that's the way it is with Alex. He's right on a lot of stuff, but then there's also stuff that he's just way out in the weeds with. And I remember, I think it was on Joe Rogan, I can't remember, but Alex Jones was sort of apologizing for the Sandy Hook stuff. Now, let's be clear. How much of that's just him saying what he thinks he has to say to give himself better legal standing? I don't know. But something he said is definitely true and resonates with me. And he went too far down the rabbit hole, and then it was like everything's a conspiracy. And I see this in real life. Like people that I really like, where it'll be like, every single homicide, every single arrest, every single weather event, it's always 100% controlled. It's always some crazy fucking conspiracy. Now, sometimes it's probably true. Like, ask yourself this. Do you believe that our intel agencies have been involved with shady shit up until including the murder of someone? Do you believe that? I think so. I think that's probably true. But does that mean that every single murder is at the behest of the intel agencies? Of course not. You would know that. But if you say every time there's a murder, particularly of anyone with any vague connection to politics, oh, that was the CIA, chances are, at least one time over a span of 50 years, you're probably right. So if you're like, every time that like a politician has died in a car wreck or overdosed or, right? If you said every time CIA, 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 one of the times you may be right. But you have to understand, it's like not everything is that. And Alex, I think what happened with Alex is he just got into that mode where, he's lifted the, but he looked behind the curtain and he sees how shady and slimy shit is. And so it's like, yes, that you wouldn't put anything beyond these people. But you'll go nuts if that's how you're looking at things. And I feel that that's sort of where Candace is at. Now, maybe fair play, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's absolutely right about everything she's saying about, Macron's wife being a man and the French government trying to assassinate her and Turning Point USA and Israel murdered Charlie Kirk. I suppose it's all possible, but I'm just over it. I'm like, nope, I'm not even interested to even broach it. It just seems too crazy. It seems like she's spiraling out of control. And here's the thing. It's the same with the Pizzagate shit and a bunch of other things. And another story that I'll talk about here in a minute. You have to be careful. It's one thing to accuse major politicians of stuff. It's another thing to accuse people outside that scope. When you start like, this person murdered someone, he's behind it. Or this person's, sexually exploiting children in the basement of their shop. It might be true. In fact, as gross as this is to say, I've no doubt that with the Pizzagate stuff, there was a lot of truth to the fact. The general story is true. We know this. We know how horrific it is that child trafficking exists. We know it's done by powerful people. But when you're saying it's this guy right here, you better fucking have the goods. You better have the goods. Put yourself on the opposite end of that. Let's say you work at Turning Point and you're Charlie's friend and you're going through some shit. Your friend just got assassinated and you saw half the Democrats fucking making excuses for it or celebrating it. And now you get accused of setting up the murder. That's fucked up. Or the Sandy Hook stuff. I'm not, by the way, I'm still against the lawsuit against Alex Jones. But I understand if it was me, if my son gets killed in a school shooting and all of a sudden big online voices are saying, oh, that's a lie. Rob's son didn't get killed. He's covering it up. Or Rob was involved in it. Yeah, I'm going to be fucking super pissed off. It's a real fucked up thing to do to someone if you don't have really solid evidence. So, I don't know. Like, for me, it's just like the Candace Owens. I started to think with the Macron's wife shit, she was jumping the shark. Like, to get that invested in, I know this leader's wife is a man. And it's like, okay, how? Now, on that note, the other story that I want to talk about, the pipe bomber story, where they finally arrested a pipe bomber. Look, I'm going to be scant on the beliefs of the alleged bomber at this point. There are things out there that seem to suggest he's sort of an anarchist. He comes from an anti-Trump family, etc., etc. But let's table that for today, because I'm sure we'll find details that'll come out and it'll be contradictory and this, that, and the other. Couple things. One, there's questions as to whether or not it's him. We'll get to that. It's so weird that so many of these people that are in these high profile, like, violent stories against politicians, the lack of social media presence they have. So it's weird. Now, I think a lot of this is like what we saw with Thomas Crooks, where Is it that they know they're going to arrest him, so the FBI contacts social media companies and gets shit deleted? Or is it that a lack of social media presence could be something that sort of insane psychopaths that want to use violence like that? I don't know. But just an interesting thought. Is this really the guy? Well, it's not beyond reason that this could be a patsy, someone that they're just setting up. What about the Blazes story? Well, here again is an example of you got to be careful, especially if you're a news outlet like the Blaze, of accusing a specific person of a heinous crime. You did this heinous crime, and not really a public figure. It's a bad look for the Blaze if it turns out that that woman had nothing to do with it. It's a very bad look. Now, Thomas Massie has came out and said he does not believe, or he's very skeptical of the current FBI story. So, we'll see what happens. But if we assume, for the sake of argument today, that this was the legitimate person, and I'm not going to delve in right here on the morning show. We can talk about all this fun shit tonight. Then the biggest story about this is, how did the FBI under the Biden administration for 4 years miss this? How did they miss it? And we're going to talk about this heavily tonight, but if you followed me for a while, you know the answer. You know why they missed it, because it doesn't conform to the narrative that they were setting up. It seemed like the pipe bomber thing was an afterthought to everyone. Benny Thompson, that read the January 6th committee. I've showed you the clips of Thomas Massie grilling him on the January 6th pipe bomber. He's like, eh. I said this day one of the January 6th committee. Day one. This is what I said. I said, we actually do need a committee. We don't need a committee for the reasons they're saying. When it comes to looking in to cases, we already have the largest FBI task force in history going after January 6th people. What we need is the answers to two questions. And this is why there should be an independent committee looking into this. And of course, this was the exact opposite of what the January 6th committee would do. One, who was the pipe bomber? Now, let me be clear. Let's say that it comes out with indisputable evidence that this guy was a Trump supporter. Let's go even further. Let's say it comes out that he was coordinating with groups that are MAGA groups. I do not give a shit. Throw the fucking book at them. Does not matter. I wasn't a big fan of the riot on January 6th anyways. Now, it got blown way out of proportion. Way out of proportion. To justify silencing people. But the pipe bomb's no joke. That's no joke at all. That's fucking deadly serious. For example, I'm no Kamala Harris fan. It would be absolutely disgusting and outrageous if someone tried to harm her in an act of violence. That's clearly, those bombs had the potential to be, by and away, the most lethal thing that occurred that day, and therefore are the most important thing to get behind that. I don't give a shit. If it implicated Trump himself, so be it. Why was it that no one gave a shit? None of the Democrats cared. No one on the January 6th really gave a shit. Seems like the FBI didn't give a shit. Why is that? How was this not, like, you know how you saw Democrats like sort of exploit January 6th for political fortunes? Like AOC, oh my gosh, we had to hide. We were scared. They keep talking about January 6th still to this day. How is it if you're Kamala Harris and you were inches away from a pipe bomb? Why isn't that something you're talking about all the time? The lunatic right and blah, blah, blah. Why aren't you doing that? It seems so odd that everybody was just silent about it. And that's how you knew it was like, there's something up with this. Whether it was someone with connections to law enforcement that placed it, someone that was a left-winger, even someone that's a right-winger, but it's inconvenient. It's the only explanation. So now we find, according, if we are to take the FBI at their word, they didn't get any new evidence under the Trump administration to solve this case. None. They literally just went through the evidence they had already had, and they were able to make an arrest. Now, the FBI that would spare no expense, they were putting footage up, they're going after blue-haired grandmas that committed no violence. Oh, baby, they were going after everyone as hard as possible, except the pipe bomber. Just couldn't figure that one out. The most important story that law enforcement should have been concerned with. Then remember, we covered here all the shady shit. One, the idea that they said, guess what? We contacted cell phone providers, and that one, just this one cell phone provider that was used by the bomber, they lost all the records. And then, of course, the cell phone provider came out and was like, yeah, that's not true. That's not true at all. Then we had the footage that I've showed you many times and we'll cover again tonight, where the off-duty officer that finds the bomb nonchalantly walks up to Secret Service, tells them, they just peck her around for like 5 minutes while civilians walk inches from the bomb. No sense of urgency whatsoever. Imagine that you're a Secret Service detail tasked with protecting the incoming vice president. Oh, there's a bomb over there. Well, let me finish my coffee. Maybe I'll get in that. It's surreal. So the whole case doesn't add up from the perspective of what the Democrats are doing. Of course, I see the narrative being pushed out now. This guy actually was a big Trump supporter. This guy thought the election was stolen. I'm not even going to get into the details right now because who knows what will eventually be told. Is it possible that this guy's actually the guy, and he seemed to be some dude that was like a anarchist type guy who's also a Trump supporter? Sure, it's possible. But the most egregious story right now that we could talk about is the failure of the FBI. There's only two explanations for the Biden FBI. They're brutally incompetent, or they didn't give a shit to look into this story because of corruption. I know which one I think's most likely. All right, some super chats, then we're going to get the show started with the call-ins. Here's the call-in link. First, let me open... I gotta open the thing. What? Yippee. Call-in link's pinned there. We can talk about whatever you want. The pipe bomber story is what I'm focused on. What's up, Avers? How you doing today?
I just came in for the donos.
Yeah, we definitely got to start to yell at people to send money in. They're doing pretty good, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean,
they're better in night shift.
I figured two of them were yelling at me, so I'd come up for them.
Ah, yes. Mr. B, 20 gifted memberships. What a Chad. Thank you so much as always, Mr. B. Call me GL, $10 says conspiracy theorists use a rabbit hole for a reason. You poke your head in and look around, but never dive in. People will tend to believe all theories see conspiracy everywhere. Yeah, and most of them have some sort of grain of truth to it, right? That's what makes them something that people are interested in looking into. But yeah, totally agree. Always American, 1776, $10 says, this is for Avenging Avarice, the Orange Lantern of Energy. Oh, this is for the Avenging Avarice, the Orange Lantern of Energy. Keep up the good fight. You're awesome in the support of the robnoerr show because it's my favorite show. Yeah, I suppose.
This is the robnoerr show.
Yeah.
It's not the Noir Rob show. This is my favorite show because it is my show. If this was your show, you'd probably like it more. But maybe that's just because it was your show. But it's not your show. It's the robnoerr show.
All right. Yeah, good song.
Fantastic.
Yep. Oh!
What? Yeah.
This is the robnoerr show. It's not the Noir Rob show. This is my favorite show because it is my show. If this was your show, you'd probably like it more. But maybe that's just because it was your show. But it's not your show. It's the robnoerr show.
Oh man.
This is the robnoerr show.
That's on Rob. You see,
It's not the Noir Rob.
this is what happens
I
when
screwed
Rob's
up.
running the back.
Yeah, I had the wrong tab open. Thank you so much, Always American. Kokomo, $15. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Look at this. Always American, another 40. More love forever and support for the robnoerr show. So it's my favorite show. We'll play the
Thank
song
you.
again at the end of the show. Thank you so much, Always American. And then AJC, $50. Thank you so much as always, man. Says, I know it's off topic, but I wanted your thoughts on CNN partnering with Kalshi, a gambling website you could gamble on anything such as politics, pros and cons, insider trading and holding CNN liable for false information being put out, etc. So it's very interesting. I actually saw this. I thought that I would have been the only person interested in this. First off, this is going to probably harm my ability to get sponsorships in the future here, but I don't care. I'll say it. I find a lot of this gambling shit to be fucking grotesque, if I'm honest. Like, yeah, do I believe you should have the right to gamble? Yeah, I guess. Have I gambled? Sure. Here's how I've gambled. When I was in Atlantic City with Andrew and them, I gambled. We played slot machines. Literally, I'm like just doing like a penny at a time. Like,
You're like the penny slots. That's me.
but it's still like you have to, it's still like $1 each spin, but I would spin and then just talk for like 5 minutes and spin again. So I didn't lose a lot of money. Now I have played poker a lot in my life with friends and we'd play like $10 buy-in or some shit like that. So it was, never.
You see, I don't gamble at all. Like I don't. It's not a thing I do unless I'm gambling on like a company or I'm gambling on like taking those kind of risks. Other than that, my mother did a lot of the casino stuff. So I just learned to use the penny slots. That's all I did. If I ever my group wanted to go to casinos, I'm like, great, penny slots for avarice.
Yeah, I don't think gambling in itself is a bad thing to an extent. The problem is that the predictable consequences of what it leads to, that it's addictive, that people spend way too much, people ruin their lives. And now you can see, particularly with like things like the online casinos that we have now that are just, it's fucking crazy. And you see, like, one of the things I have seen recently is like a lot of athletes that are talking about the shit they go through. Now, here's the if you didn't know, I've never gambled. Well, that's not true. I've played DraftKings for like $1 buy-in, where it's like you build a team, like a 1-week fantasy football team. But I've never gambled on like a game like who's going to win this game. I put money on it. It's not like it's. I know enough about it to know, and I had a friend that got deep into it. it's not as if like people are just gambling on who wins the game or not. There are all this shit. There's parlays. A parlay would be something like you're betting on like a series of things to happen, so exponentially increases the difficulty odds, which means that you could pay like $10, and if you know a 10 leg parlay, you could be like, with that $10 theoretically make like $10,000, right? And so it would be something like, oh, I think this quarterback's going to throw for more than 300 yards, and I think this running back's going to get one touchdown, and shit like that. But what we need to understand is you could gamble on him throwing more than 300 yards. You could gamble on him throwing less than 300 yards. You could gamble on the total score of the game, that it's going to be higher than a certain number, lower than a certain number. Then it got even crazier. You could do prop bets. You can gamble on who's going to win the coin toss. People gamble on like how long the national anthem will be at the Super Bowl. And that's just athletic competitions. Then you get into Kalshi, where you could gamble on anything. You could gamble on who's going to win a political race. They gamble. You could bet on things like will Trump.
An octopus that they wait for an octopus to pick the candidate, and that raises the stakes for the betting pool on the presidential campaign.
It's like I saw that they were doing like last week. I saw that Kalshi was doing words. Will Trump use this word or phrase in the next week?
That's crazy.
And like it was retarded was one of them. And but there's a bunch of other stuff, so you could gamble on shit like that. I saw these athletes talking about it because here's the thing. You're like, well then the gamblers will be really pissed off if an athlete like does poorly and costs them money. No, they'll be pissed if an athlete does well and costs them money. Right. And so like I saw these interviews, like a couple of them with athletes that were just like, you wouldn't believe the death threats I get. The fucking just shitty messages. They're like, thanks a fucking lot. My kid's never going to go to school now because, you missed that kick.
You threw the game.
Yeah. And it's like, it's absolutely fucking insane.
So for what I'm reading this then is that they are partnering with CNN. So now you can just take live bets on news.
I don't know. I think CNN's probably doing ads from them.
Okay.
Gritty says, political betting market gives them valuable information about who's expected to win. It's true. It does. But it's degenerate. And CNN partnering with, think of the implications of this. So let's say you want to bet on whether or not Trump's approval this week will dip below 42%, right? And CNN's taking money from Kalshi, and Kalshi, let's say hypothetically, wants to manipulate that. So CNN breaks a story, a bullshit conspiracy against Trump, and then retracts it 3 days later. Well, it dipped. It caused the dip in approval, or the opposite way. CNN lets up and says Trump did some good things that week. The implications of what could happen are fucking nuts. But I guess once we accept the fact that we have Congress people that invest in stocks where they could push laws that basically pick winners and losers, and we could see how much money they make. Just so, I don't know, everyone who runs for Congress, they're all in the wrong line of work. Because somehow, almost all of them consistently beat all of the best financial predictors, right? And hedge fund managers, etc. Isn't it odd? They're so good. They're so good at it. So, yeah, it's interesting. And why would you want to be a news agency anyways, getting involved with that? But again, then the alternative to that is, what would you rather them do? Get ads from fucking pharmaceutical companies like they do that's pushing shit? So, I mean, they have no scruples. I'm not surprised. But yeah, it's very interesting,
Well, I'm surprised they don't get ads like Salesforce or something like that, something productive to our economy. But, it is what it is. But the sports in our family, there's only one here. We have the F1.
Yeah.
So, and that's this final weekend, the final race this weekend. Verstappen needs to take podium and Norris needs to not. So everybody out there, let's get thoughts and prayers for Verstappen on P1 and Norris not on podium. This is very important.
Where they racing it?
Abu Dhabi, final one every year.
Okay.
So,
nice.
Yeah, the race is at 5 in the morning on Sunday. So we were up last night at 2:30? 1:30, watching that. So that was fun.
All right, we're gonna jump into the calls. A couple more super chats, and I'm gonna jump into the calls here.
I was hoping you'd run that reel.
Yes. Oh, guitar guy, $10 says, got my VIP ticket for Word War. Excited to meet you all. Great job, Rob Avarice. Do better. Oh, guitar guy throwing down the gauntlet there. Word War is gonna be great.
I need to do better.
Me too. Now Word War is gonna be great. Mr. B, 10 more bucks says you retweet about the bomber hit the nail on the head perfectly. They lie. The lie gets cemented into your lib parent's head, and no retraction or new evidence will change their mind. Yeah, I mean, I can't. How many times have I on this show gone through, like, someone will call in and be like, Trump said that Nazis could be good people. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. And so then we'll go through it. It'll be like 40 minutes. And they'll be like, well, he said they could be fine people. Not Nazis specifically, but white supremacists. Well, but. And then at the end of it, it's like, yeah, well, he told people to drink bleach. No, he didn't. Right? Like, it's constantly that sort of level of shit. And then the next time you see those people, same bullshit. Naughty Germ, thanks so much. $5. Really appreciate it.
I didn't see that one come in. I was trying to get the bars gone before.
So... Day Shift's been crushing it lately. Let's keep
You've been awesome, Day Shift.
We're gonna. Oh God.
Oh, I was just saying, make sure to know because I'm gonna heckle them tonight to get those shirts.
Oh yeah, the guy's supposed to call me today, so we'll see how it goes.
And hats.
Yes. So
every shirt and hat makes this face happen. Yeah. Make sure. Let's crush the Aussies. All right, America #1. All right, people.
All right, here we go. Let's bring in the calls. Yes, yeah. First up, one last thing. Please abide by terms of service when you call in. So no homophobic slurs, no racial slurs, no calls to violence, etc. We can talk about any topic you want. Let's focus on the pipe bomber now, but we could talk about anything we want. So. Drama, if you want. We could talk about other political stuff. We still have the Hegseth thing that's going heavy that they're still trying to push, etc. So, all right. First up, we got our good friend Byron. What's happening, man?
Greetings and salutations. It's been a while since I called in. It's good to see you, Rob.
It's great to see you, man.
Thank you much. Just got back a few days ago from the Thanksgiving vacation.
I saw your email. I haven't responded yet, but I saw your email. It sounds like you had a great time, man.
It was fantastic. It was great to disconnect from everything online and get away, just be with family. It was tremendous. What you're referring to with regards to the notion of you do not want to ascribe to incompetence is commonly referred to as Hanlon's razor. Do not assume or assign or attribute to malice what could or what can be reasonably explained through incompetence or stupidity. I think we have to go from the opposite approach to Hanlon's razor in this instance and assume malice, but investigate or inspect foolishness or incompetence. Mm-hmm. The problem with Hanlon's razor in a situation like this, to me at least, would be similar to the whole nonsense going on with YouTube's AI moderation system, deleting and yeeting and perma-banning. I think the report said 5 million user creator channel accounts just in the last year. At a certain point, you cannot ascribe to simple incompetence what's going on, because you have incompetence. I would say you could Hanlon's razor approach. You could say could fit one or two happenstances or coincidences. Beyond that, you're getting into territory where, I'm sorry, I don't believe in that many coincidences. Roland Deschain of Stephen King's Dark Tower series had a brilliant line. Much as I don't like Mr. King, he had a brilliant line, which is eventually coincidence is canceled. Right. You can't ascribe all of this just perfectly lining up like that. Nothing just lines up like that unless you're Goku in Dragon Ball Z trying to do a spirit bomb. Right. You're not going to get everything lining up perfectly like that. It doesn't happen. Not in nature.
It's so yes, you're absolutely right. What we see is when you can see a lot of circumstantial stuff that point over and over to one direction, you have to say, and given what we know about these people, you have to say at some point that the most logical explanation is that it's intentional. For example, do you think the same FBI that almost every single time we could see when they're going after Trump are as aggressive as possible? They're accidentally illegally spied on Trump. Oh, just incompetence. Accidentally changed, uh, you know, Kevin Kleinsmith accidentally changed via incompetence.
Right.
Email from the CIA saying that, yes, Carter Page helped work with us to, no, he didn't. Right? Just
No,
incompetence. He didn't know. A lead lawyer at the FBI didn't know that you can't change evidence and say the opposite of the truth. They accidentally, went as easy as possible against Hillary Clinton. At some point, you got to be like
it doesn't add up.
the double standard too of how they go. They could find anyone, like anyone from any blurry image that was at January 6th that was part of the riot, or that was just someone that illegally trespassed. Man, they're on it. They got it. But when it comes to the most serious case, the evidence is right in front of their face, but they just, we couldn't handle it. And it's, okay.
They become blind as NFL refs.
Yep. Now, for me, I've said this for years. I don't care. I'm tired of this fucking argument. And the easiest way to deal with it is to basically argue that incompetence would be worse. Right? Like, so for example,
undoubtedly.
Let's
because
take
at least if someone is malicious, there's evidence of a mind at work.
Yeah. So, like the FBI, maybe they're protecting us from terrorism and they hate Donald Trump and they're trying to take him down, right? But let's assume the opposite. Let's assume they're so incompetent that they just didn't know. They didn't know you're not supposed to change evidence to the opposite of the truth. We just didn't know. Oh, Minnesota. They just didn't know. Okay. And then all of a sudden next week, evidence comes in. Al Qaeda's about to attack, this marathon, the New York Marathon. And so the FBI's like, Al Qaeda is not about to attack the New York Marathon. And then they kill a bunch of people. It's like, what the fuck? You're so stupid? You didn't know? Like, that's worse. It's the same with
what kind of brainlets are working there?
Yeah.
So many times I have said, look, I am not a genius by any stretch of the imagination, by country mile. But even I eventually start going, something's not right here.
Yeah. It's, and so, on this particular case, it's like, I suppose that it's possible that the FBI's incompetent. Here's what we'd have to believe about their incompetence. The evidence was right in front of their face. They couldn't see it, right? They aggressively went after and had similar, if not less, evidence in thousands of cases, or at least hundreds of cases of January 6ers that didn't do anything rising near to the level of planting a pipe bomb, and they were able to go after it. Their priorities were somehow misplaced, where they didn't think that this was a key matter that warranted put a lot of energy and focus in, but they did think that going after blue-haired grandmas did, right? And like, I just don't give a fuck anymore. I'm tired. I'm so tired. The level of proof that would be needed for the people that defend these institutions at this point would have to be like a written statement notarized on like 5 different types of film while they're holding their ID up, saying their social security numbers, talking about the place of their birth, doing one of the captcha things where they have to click. Like, it's a fucking joke. That's always what it comes to the people that are going to make this defense, as if just saying, oh, no. The FBI is so brutally incompetent that these things just keep happening. Great.
Right.
Then there's no need for it, so let's ban it.
So wait a minute, you're telling me that the people responsible with for our national security are so brutally dim-witted that Biff from Back to the Future is a Rhodes Scholar in comparison to these people? I don't want to live in that kind of country. Just ship me off somewhere where I can think.
Yeah, it's really like it's over. I'm so over dealing with the people that are like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's just about. But anyways, trust the FBI again this time. Oh, they fucked up again. Oh well, just another accident. Oh, trust the FBI. I mean, again, it'd be the difference of You let someone house sit for you. They steal all your money from the house. You let them house sit again. They steal all the money. You let them house sit again. They steal all the money. You let them house sit again. They steal all the money. Then the fifth time you let them house sit and the money comes up missing and they're like, oh, no, it wasn't me. I'm just incompetent. I let the doors unlocked.
Right. It's pattern recognition. That is a human survival trait, gifted to us by God, thankfully, through the benefit and the gift of evolutionary biological syncopation. We have developed these skills to recognize patterns of behavior and events and go, wait. And brings me back to another old axiom, which is it's a good truism. Once is coincidence. Twice is suspicious, but still dismissible. 3 times is enemy action, and you must respond accordingly.
It's crazy. But the people that here's the thing. Here's why this keeps happening. Or why people just will refuse to admit, right in front of their face, about the double standard of these intel agents, because they like it. That's the truth. It's the same people that you saw celebrating yesterday. That's like Fannie Willis, a grand jury in Norfolk, Virginia, refused to bring charges. They're celebrating it because the truth is they like the double standard. The truth is they won't say it, but they want the FBI being corrupt. They want them aggressively going after Trump and being as easy as possible on the people that are against Trump.
They benefit from it.
Yes, they want that narrative. And so they won't say it because they know that the jig would be up if they said it. So instead, they're just like, oh, no, I don't see what you're talking about. I don't see what you're talking about. It'd be it's just so, it's so old. But same old story with them.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I had, and I don't want to take up too much of the time from the other folks who want to call in and chit-chat. But it is good to see you again. Good to talk to you, brother.
Hey, man. It's always great to talk to you. Hopefully we can talk more soon. And, yeah, I'm glad you had a great Thanksgiving, man.
It was excellent. Thank you much.
All right. Take it easy. Joel, $20 says, hey, Rob, you should check out the video of the Minneapolis mayor, Jacob Fry, sticking it to Trump by eating Somalian food. What are you willing to bet the guy would eat literal shit just to virtue signal? I saw this here. Let's see real quick if I can find it. The dude is... oh, man. Let's see here. Looks like he's really enjoying himself. Check it out. It's all so fucking tiresome. It really is. It can't be like, why can't can I eat like fucking lasagna to stick it to people I don't like? Something like that. I'll show these fucks. Rob, we really need you to aggressively go after the Democrats. You know what would really show them? Eating this amazing Italian cuisine. That'll fucking stick it to them. I love to the food related stories involving Trump with politics are the best. What is it? He's super into, is it Diet Coke? Right? And then do you remember in his first term, the taco thing? It was the fucking best, man. Let's see if I could find this. It's one of my all-time favorites. Oh man, I figured it would show up pretty easily, but remember he put out this.
While you're doing that, Rob, do when they do videos and we play videos, if we have it up on the screen, will they strike it even if we play it?
You mean if someone wanted to
play a YouTube clip of somebody or a song?
It depends on. Yeah, they could. It depends. The default's always going to be to strike. You could fight it. So, for example, if I play a song, right? Let's say I play a 2-minute song, but I spend an hour and a half analyzing it. Fair use would mean that I'm allowed to do that because I have demonstrably changed the content, right? But they'll still strike it, right?
Okay.
And then I have to go through the process of fighting. And the problem is, half the time the process of fighting it doesn't pan out. So
okay, so
there-
if we had like a 15-second clip of a song for an intro clip for one of our phone-in people, is that not worth it?
no, it would not be worth it. They'll instantly strike. It'll
Damn
instantly.
it. I had
and
a
then I'm-
Miggy intro clip.
No, it would definitely. It definitely would strike.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do I'm gonna take this clip one day and I'm gonna make this clip so it's so discharged you can't tell what it is anymore, and make it Miggy's entry clip.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, but it was Luke Combs Twister, for the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I can't do that.
No, they're very. Yeah, I don't know. They're very serious. I still do it every once in a while. I play, but yeah, they'll definitely demonetize that video for doing that. So yeah,
man.
Mm.
I wanted a Hurricane entry clip for our stats boy.
Yeah,
But
that's
what it is. To the back.
Let's see, where was it? Here we go. The Trump taco thing is the best. Ah, shit. Trump ain't eating no fucking Somalian food. Yeah, but isn't it true that the fucking, the Mexicans with the taco? Fuck that. That's an American Mexican dish. That's Tex-Mex if I ever saw it. By the way, I unabashedly love Mexican food. I don't give a shit. Still not worth. I would happily give up tacos and never eat tacos or nachos again the rest of my life if it meant that we could deport all the fuckers that are here illegally. Happily. Korik! 100 BGN says, nothing to say, just supporting the show. Best regards to both of you. Thank you as always, man. Always appreciate it, Korik. What an absolute legend. Our friend Gizmo.
That's Bulgarian.
Oh, our friend Gizmo, $5 says, does your new logo have normal on it, or is it just America? I will be buying a sweatshirt. It has normal on it. Here, what's the best way to do this? It's hard to see. The logo's the same as you'll see here. Here, wait. It's the same logo that you see on there. So obviously the pictures, it's hard to get a zoomed in view, but yeah. Hopefully that shop will be up and running soon. So $60. Thank you so much. Will be the amazing donation from Korik. Thank you so much. All right. Remember, the link's pinned to the top if you want to call in. You don't have to talk about what we're talking. Maybe you have something that you want to say. You think I'm a piece of shit. Or maybe you disagree with me in the story. Those are the best calls. Those are the ones that are the best. But maybe you just have another story that you want to talk about. Don't hesitate. Call in. Get your super chats in. Next up, we got Jared. Jared, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Rob? How you doing, sir?
Doing great. Good to talk to you.
Hell yeah. I was listening to your friend talking about needed to pull for Verstappen. That's something I'm 100% willing to do because I'm a Ferrari fan and I hate Charles Leclerc's my favorite driver and I freaking hate McLaren. I absolutely hate McLaren and fuck Zach Brown. Sorry, I didn't
so
mean to swear.
my wife is a Leclerc guy, right?
Yeah,
so she's
dude.
got the Ferrari, and so so when I was getting into F1, I was like, I just want a winner, I want a badass winner. So I picked, and obviously there's Verstappen, right? I was like, yeah, there's my guy. So, but next year, you are gonna be Cadillac. Right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm fully willing to cheer for Verstappen this weekend because I hate McLaren, so it's kind of anybody but McLaren for me, and I don't like Lando Norris. So, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. I know Rob doesn't really care.
No, I care. I care in the sense that
believe it or not, he listens to me prattle about F1 more than you all would know.
Yeah,
dude, I was surprised he was talking about F1. I'm like, man, nobody I talk to like even knows anything about F1. That's pretty cool. Anyways,
I'm a Verstappen fan because avarice is, like it's very similar to me as sort of Premier League soccer, right? Where except I
Yeah.
guess it's a little different. I'd never watched Premier League in my life. I'm not a big soccer fan. And not that I
Yeah.
dislike it, but when your friends get into something, I'll tell you this story and then I got another real quick one. When your friends get into something, then it's like, it's something fun to be involved with. So I took my team in Premier League's Crystal Palace because all my friends had different teams, and it sounded like okay, that team sounds neat. Yeah, they fucking blow. So every time I'm with my friends, and then the other thing was I had a friend who was from Sri Lanka, and he used to come over to our place. He was quite a wealthy dude. He bought some crazy fucking internet package thing where we could watch like the World Cricket Championships. I couldn't tell you shit all about cricket. I still don't understand it. But I got drunk as shit with this dude watching it and like screaming like a moron.
Doesn't that
So it was a
sport
lot
like
of fun.
last for days? Like
Yeah.
a match lasts
It
days?
can, yeah, it
It's
can.
weird.
So, but yes, it's fun to get. For me, a lot of shit like that, like the sports, is more about like enjoying it with friends. That's why I play fantasy football. I couldn't give two shits about fantasy football, but it's an excuse for me and my wife and a group of like 10 of our friends to bullshit
Yeah.
each other every day. So that's about it. Yeah.
I think the best part about sports for me, honestly, is the interaction with other fan bases online and the trash talk. I think that's just what makes the sport for me.
What is? Do you have an opinion? What is the worst? Right, in the United States, what sport has the worst like level of trash talking?
College football in
You
America?
think?
College football.
Yeah. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
League of Legends, online league.
Well, that
sports
might,
team.
yes, that might be of the big sports. I think the level of fucking like trash talk stupidity on the NBA is surreal. I thought it was bad with the NFL, but like my friend was like, "No, dude, check this out. Like, check out like NBA fucking Reddit." I was like, "Holy shit, it's
Is it
bad.
that bad?
It is bad."
Oh, that's crazy. I just came up with one quick because I'm correcting EOD again. Let me put that banner up right here. I blame EOD. Look at Haas is an American team. Yes, they're a backline team. EOD. So of course we always vote for Haas, but we don't put that in the frontline team. It's a backline team. EOD.
There you have it. All right, I'm sorry, Jared, that we got into cricket talk. But what's up? What's on your mind today?
I just wanted to I mean I just haven't really been keeping up with the news lately because it's all just so overwhelming anymore. But like can you like go over like the pipe bomber thing? Like I've heard like some conflicting stuff online. I heard it's like a DNC operative, but I don't know.
So we know right now it's all over the place. Here's what everything's confirming, and all of this could change. He is black. Now, why does that matter? Well, a lot of the narrative surrounding January 6th from the FBI was that it was like white supremacy type stuff. So the skin color would matter in this sense. It looks as if, from what I'm reading, that his family had connections to sort of groups that dislike Trump, that this guy worked as an activist trying to get the Biden administration to release some people that were illegals, et cetera, et cetera. That looks to be something that's being heavily reported. Other than that, we know very little. We're being told that he had a very limited social media space. I'm seeing reports that are saying that he is an anarchist that supported Trump. He thought that the 2020 election was stolen. And it's always this sort of thing where it's like super ambiguous with all these people. You know, oh, well, maybe he was a Trump supporter, maybe he wasn't. Both sides are going to run with little things they could see in their life that think that it makes the point that they're trying to make. For me personally, I don't know. Just like with all these other things, like Thomas Crooks that shot at Trump, or Tyler Robinson, that's the person that allegedly killed Charlie Kirk. Like with all of them, it's so many details come out that I try to wait a couple days before I make any firm conclusions. But that's basically what's being reported at this point. So,
yeah, I'm kind of under the impression that it is like a hardcore left wing person that did it, because the fact that it took so long to find out. Like I feel like if it was like a Trump guy, I feel like we would have known his name and his face would have been out there all over the place like immediately.
Well,
And
I think
motive,
so too.
The motive would have been named.
I think that
that's why I think it's
I totally agree. And look, there's various types of left-leaning people that it could be. It could be like, this doesn't mean that it's like, oh, I'm just like your run-of-the-mill DNC supporter that's, or a Bernie bro or a Chuck Schumer voter or anything. It could just be like a leftist anarchist,
Yeah.
right? That's possible. To me, though, the part of the story that we could confirm, and I think is probably the biggest part of the story, unless we find out that this guy has connections to other people, right? And that's certainly a possibility. In fact, Thomas Massey's online right now saying, I do not believe that whoever planted the pipe bomb acted alone. Now, that obviously becomes a huge story because then at that point it's a conspiracy and who was connected? What are the motivations behind this group of people that were trying to plant this? If it's just a lone psychopath, that's not saying that we shouldn't focus on the motivations, etc. But lone psychopaths could do all kinds of stuff. It happens a lot. And to me, though, the story, and it's almost always the case, is why is it that these agencies seem to have this two-tier system of justice, right? And so if this guy even is a right-winger, let's say hypothetically he was, how did the FBI fuck up for 4.5 years? How did that happen? Like they
Right.
just, the most serious thing, they were incapable of going. Why did no one give a shit? Why did almost every Democrat media place not really give a shit about the story? The January 6th committee, the people that were running it, didn't really give a shit about the story. The FBI reportedly told us, ho hum, there's nothing we could do, didn't give a shit. All of this shit, like, that implicates either corruption or incompetence from the FBI and the lack of interest from official groups that are like, whether it be the DNC or other. That's what we could talk about right now. And I think that it absolutely, you could see those details. So,
Well, I appreciate. Thanks for the insight, Rob. It's definitely very good to hear that. I'm just glad to be able to call in, man, because I always want to call into your show, but I'm always working. But today I got the day off, so I've got to be able to call in.
Enjoy the day off. Is it nice?
Yeah.
Is the weather nice where you live, or probably not? Like,
No, it's freaking really cold out there. It's really cold. Yeah.
Dude, I was out yesterday. It was. We went to pick up my son, and I think it was like 14 degrees, which, okay, that's cold, but it's not the worst. But the wind was horrible. It was like 30-mile-an-hour wind the whole time while I'm waiting there with my wife to pick up my son. And I was just like, moments like that's like, maybe I should move to Florida. Like, in that moment, I'm like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, 14-degree weather is really bad, but when you add the wind on it, that's just unbearable with the wind.
Brutal. And like, it's all right if you're ready. Like, if you're going hunting or something around here, you really bundle up. But for that, just to pick up my son, I'm wearing just like a simple sweater and like blue jeans. I'm like, fuck, is it cold? What am I doing here? Of course, my son loves it. He's having a good time with it. But yeah, Jared, anytime, man, you want to call in. And we're going to start doing some evening call-in shows like on the weekend.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah, I think Sunday night we'll do a evening call-in show. So
yeah, I just want one more thing to say. Go for Verstappen and screw McLaren.
There we go. All right, man. Hey, thanks so much, Jared. Really appreciate it. Take it easy. All right. Remember, get those super chats in. I'm not going to stall them. I'm going to bring in the next caller because I really enjoy this caller, and he talks as much as I do. But he always has good stuff to say. Problem is, he's always like at the end of the queue, and so we always have to cut it short. But we have an hour and a half today. Not that we'll stay with one call for an hour and a half. But our good friend Miggy, how you doing today? I'm glad that you were earlier in the queue today. So,
I guess it's doing pretty good. I don't have any stats today, but today I have a quote. They always say it's easy to believe a lie, but you have to have a ton of evidence to prove the truth.
mm-hmm.
So this has always been the case. I always have to deal with people who make up the lies about suckers and losers. Remember that lie? Yeah. And how many times I try to prove the truth? They always need a 1,000,001 evidence to prove it. That was a lie that was perpetrated by the Atlantic. And the funny thing is, that was the same guy who published the story about the whole Signalgate chat. So it's the same guy that's been perpetuating this lie. I guess he just has a vendetta against Trump or so.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm like, this has been the same one, and they keep perpetuating this lies, and you see this all the time with the whole pipe bomb. Honestly, I think it was just done by design with what happened with J6.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my conclusion.
No, I agree. I think that let's for a second here, let's talk about, because you can see now the official Democrat narrative is going to be, oh, he's a Trump supporter who believed the election was stolen. I can see that all the social media people are putting this. So let's talk about this for a second. If I was the type of person that wanted to shirk, but okay, I got to choose my words carefully. First off, let me say as a precursor to this, I am against all political violence, right, left, or anywhere in between. I want to be clear before I say this, because I know this is going to be clipped, right? So I precursor this by saying I am absolutely against this. However, if I was coming up with a strategy that I wanted to carry out some malicious attack, because let's say I'm a Trump supporter. Now, I know when I carry out this attack, I'm going to then harm other Trump supporters, because the mere fact that I am one means that they'll aggressively go after other Trump supporters. So I might do it and then say, the reason I'm doing this is because I hate Trump, because I'm a big Rachel Maddow fan. You know, and I've talked about this before. Like, if you're writing like a manifesto, like, you could put all kinds of stupid shit, the opposite of what you actually believe, so as those groups would end up getting blamed. Now, I know what's going to happen. The left is going to be like, the left is going to be like, oh, well, you're just saying this because, it's something. Now they're saying that this guy, maybe he was a Trump supporter, this, that, and the other. Well, no, I said the same thing about Tyler Robinson. That, like, hypothetically, we have to be careful. It is possible. Even if he had writings that was like, the text message with the trans boyfriend or whatever that he had that was like, oh, this is why I'm doing it, blah, blah, blah. That could be a plant. You could set something up like that with the intent that that it'll be read, and so then it makes your motivations look different than what they actually are, right? So if I'm a dude that did this and I get hauled in, I'd be like, yeah, I did this because I love Trump. Or if I love Trump, I might, if I get called in, say, you know what? Yeah, you know why I did this? Because I was trying to damage Trump and damage MAGA, right? If I was a Trump supporter, that might be the type of thing I'd say. So I just don't know. And it's also hearsay that we're being told that this is the sort of shit that he's saying. I don't know. It is entirely possible that this guy is a Trump supporter who thought that the 2020 election was stolen. Of course, that's a possibility. But it doesn't address the questions that I have about the lack of interest about this story from the January 6th committee and the incompetence then of the FBI failing to get someone when all of the evidence was in front of their face. The most likely scenario at this point is either the FBI knew that this was a person that didn't fit their narrative, or they were worried that it was. And so they didn't want to know the truth because they're like, well, we'll just put our head in the sand and not go after it because we think that it'll go against our narrative.
Yeah, that could be true, because they, for years, I mean, we can see it with our own eyes. They've been trying to discredit Trump and go after his supporters for years. This has been going on for 10 years, so of course they're gonna want to be able to make sure they have a narrative that's set in place, so they can make us look bad, everyday Americans look bad, and make themselves elitists look good. It's always gonna be this case. I mean, I don't think everything is gonna be a conspiracy wise, but I think a lot of it just falls into place for their favor. Huh? They always say never let a crisis go to waste. So,
well, that's a great point, right? And this is something that I always said about everything that's like a conspiracy level, right? Where it's like, it's not that the FBI, it's not that like powerful people control everything to that degree. It's that they know how to use things that occur to their benefit. It doesn't matter what happens, they're ready to exploit it. And so there's going to, spoiler alert, you ready for this, everyone? There's going to be another mass shooting in the next month. Right? Now, it might just be a gangland shooting, whatever, but there'll be a mass shooting. And that mass shooting isn't going to be because, MK Ultra convinced someone to do a mass shooting. And yet, they'll be able to exploit that for the goals that they want. If it's a left-winger, they'll be able to talk about gun control. If it's a right-winger, they'll be able to say, look at how dangerous the right's becoming, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter. Don't let a crisis go to waste. That's the real power that they have, that it's like, you don't have to control everybody. I'm not saying that it's not possible that there aren't people that are connected to the FBI. Look at the Whitmer kidnapping case. But the
Yeah,
truth
that's
is that
true.
there's an awful lot of fucking psychopaths out there too, right? And all you have to do is if you want to be an authoritarian or you want to be someone is to, to be able to exploit that situation how you want. So,
Yeah, and the truth is, there's always gonna be psychos who want to see the world burn,
yeah.
and they're gonna want to take advantage of what especially resources that's given to them. Sometimes it's done by design, and who knows? It's hard to trust the FBI at this point, given the fact the FBI has spent a hell of a lot of resources to go after the 1,500 J6s that participated that day. Mind
I
you, that it costed billions of dollars.
I do not trust the FBI. Period. I don't trust the FBI under Kosh Patel because even if I trust Kosh, the truth is so many of the agents there still continue to be agents that were there under the previous regime, and it's clear that the corruption was so endemic and went straight to the top that I'll never believe anything they say.
And
Let
especially
me rephrase that. I won't believe anything they say without them providing the receipts and providing proof. Right? So
especially now
what you
with the
want,
whole Elijah Schaefer case, and like Cash Patel's wife is suing
yeah,
Elijah Schaefer. That's
yeah,
just ridiculous.
yeah, I agree. It's horseshit. Now, let me be clear what I mean though, right? What I'm saying is this, right? You want these institutions, particularly law enforcement institutions, to have an amount of credibility that you believe them even when they can't show you the evidence. And I'm fully aware that there are times when our intel agents won't be able to provide receipts to us because the very nature of the work is sometimes providing the receipts can put operations in jeopardy. I get that. And regardless of my feelings on the FBI now and how corrupt they are, is it possible that there's certainly a lot of situations where they can't provide receipts because it would jeopardize an undercover agent or an ongoing law enforcement investigation? Of course, right? So what you want as a country is a system where you're like, look, we know those people can make mistakes and we know there could be a few bad apples within it that would even engage in corruption, but overwhelmingly, we support the institution that it's doing the right thing. And they're gonna, if they can't show us the receipts, we say, they're probably being accurate to the best of their ability because we trust them. I no longer trust them like that, right? And it's
Yeah,
like now it's to the point where unless they're able to provide receipts, I just don't. I'm not trusting them on blind faith, and that's a shame. And I've talked about this a lot. People go, "Oh my God, it's ridiculous the lack of trust in institutions. People don't trust the Department of Health. People don't trust the World Health Organization. People don't trust the CIA. They don't trust the FBI. They don't trust the mainstream media." And then they start talking about how it's important to trust those institutions. And they're right. They're right. It's important to trust those institutions. But it's not my fault I don't trust them. It's their fault. They've
yeah,
lied to me so many times.
they burned their trust. How you expect for people to believe them when they have burned their trust for the past, how long? I mean, it makes you wonder how much more lies they've told us even in the past. Like, even before the whole weapons of mass destruction lie that was told to us in the 2000s, how much more lies they told before that? It makes you question those things.
Yep, it's too much. Like, and so when you see stories like this, it's just like again, they went after every fucking blue-haired grandma as aggressively as possible, right? And then they go
Yeah.
after this pipe bomber. It's like, ho hum, we don't know. And again, if the argument was, well, a new person came out and gave a tip to the FBI, look into this guy, and then they started looking, and was like, oh, we found all this evidence. Okay, maybe you can understand that. But that's not what happened. The evidence that they already had right in front of their face showed who this was. And look, I've heard even people I like that are like, well, let's hesitate. Let's pull back the reins. Sometimes these things can be more difficult than you would assume to be able to put these things together. What a load of shit. If the current administration's FBI was capable of doing this, right, because they were like, hey, this is a priority for us, that either shows that, one, the current administration's far more competent when it comes to the FBI leadership, which disputes the whole Kosh Patel being the worst guy in the world narrative that the Democrats are putting out. Or second, it shows that it wasn't a priority for the FBI. And it's obviously preponderance of evidence shows that it's the latter, that there was a less priority put on this than under the Christopher Wray Biden administration. Why
which
would
is
become the
sad.
question. Why would this story that almost any objective person should be able to say is one of, if not the top evidence of actual violent things that occurred on January 6th that needs to be investigated? Why wasn't this a top priority? Why was it more of a priority to go after, random people? One thing, let's see. Go ahead, I'll leave you talk. I'm looking something up here.
You know what kind of pisses me off about this whole thing. And, I actually watched the whole Nick Fuentes and Stephen Collar interview, and they brought up about Julian Michaels, which I was a big fan of because it had the fitness channel and all that, right? And how she was instrumental in helping people to engage in the weight loss and all that kind of stuff. But like she was just having a really hard time because obviously she don't like Nick Fuentes for the things that he says. Obviously, some of the things he might say might be a little bit overbearing. Who knows? I don't really care. But the whole point is like she has nothing to say. She has no room to say that because for years it's because of people like her who have been complacent and allowed corruption to get out of control in the first place. The same thing like how such an album they're bitching and complaining, oh, why isn't the right gatekeeping? Well, because that has been overused and abused by people on the left with the gatekeeping and the finger wagging and the tone policing. That's been overused so much and nobody cares anymore. And the truth is, they can't comprehend why this is such a big turn against them. It's because for years the status quo, especially the center right, center left, center elites have basically abused the American public and has lied to us constantly, tone policed us, gatekeep, debank, demonetize, and gone after people for literally for less.
Mhm.
And I'm done with that. Like, no, I'm like that pisses me off.
I agree.
And the thing is, Julie Michaels, she always she takes offense because she's Jewish, but like it wasn't that long. But Batya basically admitted that we were part of the progressive movements and all that. Like now they turn on that. So like because of the fact that you guys allowed this to happen.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
now,
and this is always the problem, right? Like, I was a big person that was against cancel culture. Like, I thought that the idea one second here, the idea that like we needed to like embrace cancel culture as if the left did, I thought that was a bad idea. The problem was that it actually becomes to the point where it's sort of a mutually assured destruction thing. As long as one side's playing those games and the others aren't, then it's inevitable that that side will win. So the only chance to fight back is to embrace the tactics they use. Now, I still won't cheer for things like violence, and I still personally won't engage in some of what I consider the worst aspects of something like cancel culture. But I understand the utility of it. I do. I get why people boycotted Bud Light. I understand, right? The same is true when it comes to sort of other policies that we see or other actions that we see when it comes to this. They broke these systems. They broke it. And almost all of the Democrats sat there and cheered it on, and almost all the people on the left, they cheered it on. And now when we see, now there's a problem. There's a lack of trust in these institutions. No one gives a shit anymore. It's like, yeah, that's bad. That's not a good thing. I totally agree with that. But you were fine when that trust was being broken because it benefited your side. So you're like, we don't give a shit. It's all good, right? Now we see the fruits of that. By the way, they have no problem. They'll completely distrust anything that they want that comes out of the Trump administration. Of course. We don't believe it. We don't believe it. We don't believe it. They have rights to be skeptical. I'm skeptical as well when we're told official narratives. I am. Unlike them, I criticize even when my side does it. I'll be skeptical of a lot of the policies that Trump does. I'm skeptical of the tariff stuff. I'm skeptical of the bombing of Iran. I'm skeptical of the bombing of the Venezuelan boats. All of this stuff. But not them. When it benefited their side for years and years and years, they accepted everything. Hook, line, and sinker. Even when it was blatant bullshit. I was told over and over and over again, and I could go through it, right? When it came to the Russiagate shit. Step by step by step, we could see every house of cards they'd built. And I was like, nope, this is fucked up. Now it's not. And then later when it found out it was fucked up, well, yes. But nevertheless, this. Now that's fucked up too. Well, but yes. But nevertheless, the next thing. They didn't give a shit. And what they needed to understand was every step of the way, people were looking at it going, what the fuck is going on? We're tired of it. And you could see, I think the final nail in the coffin for a lot of this shit was COVID. When we were told that the experts all told us one thing, when every average layman could look and see, like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. If you just take, you're like, Rob, you're a fucking crazy conspiracy theorist. Just take this. We know 100% for a fact that the official, like, sort of health department people under the Biden administration, and for that matter, the Trump administration prior to that, lied to us. We absolutely know they lied. No, Rob, it was just mistakes. They were trying the best. We are told by Dr. Fauci, the man that said that criticizing him was criticizing science itself. We were told that he intentionally lied to us. If you'll recall, at the beginning of the pandemic, they came out and was like, masks don't work. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Then we were told a few scant weeks later, not only do masks work, but you should be mandated to wear it. And when someone brings up, but you just told us a couple weeks ago that masks don't work. He's like, well, we had to lie to you so that you don't run out and panic buy all of the masks. Now, do they understand the damage that does to the credibility of those people and of the government's sort of official health response? Do you understand? What they just said was, we will intentionally lie to you if we think that it serves us in some sort of way. Even if they think the lie was a noble lie. And of course, even that lie ends up being bullshit. And I'm the only person I've heard in the entire country say this. Quick point. Was the Fauci's of the world, was their guidance that cloth masks were effective as well? Of course. You know it. I know it. That's what they said. And 9.5 masks were superior, but they said, yes, any mask works, including cloth masks. So then if you're Fauci's team and you have to lie to people, and you truly believe that the masks help prevent the spread and contraction of COVID, why wouldn't your lie be one that protected people more? Because the official Fauci team narrative is this. Yes, masks could help save lives, but we're intentionally telling people to not get masks, thereby knowing that we're going to cause deaths. That's the official narrative. Now, I know everyone in chat's going to be like, but masks are bullshit. Okay, it doesn't matter. We talked about this the other day. It's very difficult to understand this concept, but what you believe subjectively and what we could glean from that oftentimes is more important than the objective truth. In other words, if we take Fauci and company at their word, they think masks save lives. Yeah, but Rob, they're full of shit. Maybe, but this is the narrative they're putting out. Their narrative doesn't add up. Their narrative, if we accept it at face value, is masks save lives. We were worried that people would mass buy all of the masks so doctors and healthcare professionals couldn't get it. So we lied to them and told them it doesn't save lives. But all they had to do was say
at this point, that's why they have lost. This is why they have lost all the credibility. I mean, obviously, if it really worked, I wouldn't have gotten COVID twice, which I did, and within a year, and 6 months apart. The whole point is like they have destroyed the reputation, and the truth is like it's the same thing I have the problem with libertarians who always say non-aggression principles. Like if that would work, if the only way the non-aggression principle will work is everybody engages in the non-aggression principle. So like everybody actually be honest and actually tell the truth, tell the public and be faithful.
Yeah.
That's not the case. It doesn't work at all. It never works. It never does because everybody has their own agenda. Everybody thinks differently, and there's always going to be somebody that wants to have a best interest in something else. It's the same thing like with the whole global foreign policy. Like if it's not going to be Washington, it's going to be Moscow. If it's not Moscow, it's going to be Beijing who's going to want to take advantage of those rare minerals or other valuable assets around the world. That's what Nick Fuentes said about like he's not an isolationist because he just put our head in the sand and thinking that nothing is ever going to happen. Well, you're going to have problems later on down the line.
Yeah. I gotta let you go, Miggy. Your audio's like pretty bad today, but man, it's always a
Yeah, it's
pleasure.
just a lot of background noise today because it's been very chaotic at my job today. So
Yeah.
not one step back.
All right, man. You take it easy. Thanks so much. To finish what I was saying there about the pandemic, this is what I haven't heard anyone say. So if cloth mask works, but we had to tell the noble lie, and so that people would stop mass buying masks, why didn't they say this instead? Hey, instead of going out and buying N95 masks and all that, you know what works? Cloth mask. Do you have an extra t-shirt? Cut it up. Make yourself a mask. Why didn't they say that? If you have to lie and you're in a position of public health, wouldn't the lie you tell be one that accomplishes your goal while saving as many lives as possible? So if the cloth masks work, which we're told by Fauci and company they believed they did, doesn't matter what you believe, they claimed that they believed it, but they had to tell people masks don't work so that you wouldn't go out and mass buy the even more effective masks. Instead of saying, hey, masks don't work, wouldn't you say, hey, the mask you buy in the store isn't all that more effective than the cloth mask that you could make at home? Why didn't they say that? See, this is the problem when you admit we have to lie for public health. Same with Obamacare. We were told by the architect of it, like basically the American people were stupid. We had to lie to them. Okay. Now, we understand that, yeah, there's some truth to that, and there could even be the noble lie, hypothetically. For example, if your leader in a military unit is telling you, like, yeah, boys, it looks like we're fucked. There's nothing we could do. Then you're almost guaranteeing the worst possible outcome because the morale is going to dip so much. So what's your leader do? He's the eternal optimist. We're going to do this. We're going to take them. It doesn't matter if the odds are against you, right? That's sort of a noble lie. That's okay. But once you start proudly announcing, yeah, we're lying, and then more importantly, you see the lies over and over again, we lose all faith in these institutions. Korik again. Another 100 Bulgarian says, you know what? I have something to say. Stop calling football soccer. You want to make a delineation between the two? Call it European football because it's football. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This is America. We don't use your shitty fucking metric system, and we have taken over the term football. We fought 2 world wars. That was the real reason. That was what was going on, so that we could call our football football. I know it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to begin to argue it. In American football, quote unquote, you barely touch the ball with your foot, whereas in soccer, you do it all the time, right? But I'm not going to add extra words. European football, American football. No. Football is football to us. Soccer could be football to you all, and we'll be happy in between. But nope, I'm calling it soccer. It's easier to do. We still love you, Cork. All right, Fair Wild. What's up? You're next. Keep getting those super chats in, everyone. Fair Wild, what's happening?
Oh, not much, man. I just actually came up here to do more of a thank you than anything.
Well, thank you. What's happening? What's on your mind?
Not much. Brought my wife over here to learn a thing, and the community's been fantastic. All your mods have been fantastic. Avarice is awesome. You've been awesome. It was the warmest welcome I could have asked for my wife after what she dealt with in other places.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we try to have... Now, listen, obviously, I can't speak for everyone. EOD's like a real scoundrel. We know that. But no, we try to have a good community over here. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad your wife... yeah, thank you, Avarice. He puts the... But no, that's great to hear, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And one last thing, by the way. If it ain't measured in eagles, quarter pounders, blue whales, or pickup trucks, it didn't come from here.
That's right. That's right. And we're going to keep calling it soccer, damn it. We don't care. So,
yes, sir.
Hey, well, tell your wife, thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. And yeah, call in anytime, man.
I will do. Thank you very much, Rob.
Thank you. Look at that. And thank you to those of you in the community. Really appreciate it, man, when my community is welcoming to people. So I think we have a very good community here, despite what the haters say. So, yeah. All right. Can we get to 100% before the next caller? Avarice, what do you think? You're muted.
Me and the mute. I think I try to mute my phone in the bag. I
Boo!
always do it. It's
I'm bad with that too.
my normal thing. I think we could do it. It's all up to us. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We'll give it like 3 minutes if we can get to 100%. Now,
Well,
Day Shift's been crushing it, right? Like,
they have been, and I know the next caller very well. Fantastic person. So I'm really excited. He's got a planned thing for you. I said, wait, hold on. I'll read the private chat. I have a fun game to play with Rob. So this is going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be good. Yeah. Look it. I know. Listen, I get it. Yeah. Boomer, me.
well, yeah, what, dude, I do it. So I got this Shure mic, right? This is my microphone, you see. I like this mic. I think it's been done very well. And it was recommended to me. But it's got this thing, which sounds like a good feature for anyone who's not an old man boomer, where if you touch it like this, so then I bump it all the time. I'm fucking, look at this fat guy flailing around and stuff. So I'll be in the middle of saying something, and I bump it, and then I'm like, what the fuck? People are saying I'm muted. Then I'm looking for like shit on my computer. No, it's because I physically bumped the mic. I wish there was a way to take that feature off. Now, I know it's useful for a lot of like gamers and shit. You could just tap it. And,
you see, I'm a gamer, so I have the whole headset, right? So mine's just a button on the back, and then I can get up and then move around. While I'm, while you're going off on tangents with Miggy. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll go refill my coffee.
Now listen, I know, like Miggy's, like his audio issues continue to plague him, right? And I understand he's at work, but it used to be that he was just using the phone. So then everything I said was coming from the earpiece of the phone back into the microphone. So there's always a recycling of the audio that way. And now, today it's better. He got a microphone for it, but it is tough. But no, he's a smart guy. It's good to talk to him. Bandit, thanks so much. $2 says he doesn't like soccer. Call it communist kickball. There we go.
I'm just excited. We got a lot of fun things in the works. And
look at this. Corix 100 Bulgarian says, see that? You're saying F you. Football is our word. We will call it as we want, and I still support the show. Let's get to 100. Yeah, I understand. Like, from the European perspective, I get it totally. Like, fuck you, man. It's our sport. You guys can't just change the name. But the truth is, yes, we can. We absolutely can. We did it. It's over. It's already happened. Didn't we get I don't know. Do you think, I don't know enough about soccer to know this. Is Messi still considered the best player in the world? Or was Ronaldo better than him? But the United States got fucking Messi to come to some bullshit soccer league. That's us, America. We suck at this sport and we don't give a fuck. We can still buy the best in the world and have it over here.
We can still bring that. We still can host Barcelona here to go play our Sounders in our arena.
Yeah. So we're only we're what, $8 away. A $10 donation. And we've hit the goal. We can do it. I'm gonna fail just because.
Bust out those schmeckles, those coin purses. Reach into your working wife's.
Now we call it sucky. There we go. AJC $8 for the goal. Go! That's something you may hear in a soccer match. Our next caller, the intrepid and fantastic Mantid. What's happening today, Mantid?
Not much, brother. What's going on with you? You hear me all right?
I hear you fine. I don't know. I'm having a surprisingly good day. Not surprising in the sense that all the days are good, but I'm in a particularly good mood today. So good stuff.
Can I make it a little worse for you? I'm gonna throw out an accusation on you.
Yes.
Right,
Let's do it.
You ready? Okay. I have a little intro bit prepared.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, robnoerr. I want to play a game. You've crowned yourself king of the conspiracies, peddling lies and half-truths to everyone desperate enough to listen. But there's a new monarch in town. Candace Owens took your scattered rants, your fever dreams, and she made them believable. Where you screamed, she smiled. Where you flailed, she conquered. If you fail to one-up her insanity, the iron crown you bragged about wearing becomes real, red-hot, and permanent. Prove you were ever anything more than her warm-up act, or burn as the jester you always were. Live or die, Rob. The choice is yours.
Oh, shit. All right. So if I really want to go down the rabbit hole with the Charlie Kirk assassination, right? Saying Turning Point USA or the Jews did it, that's low tier. That's super. Oh, look, Avarice is zooming in on us. That's super low tier, right? The real truth is we know who the real culprit is. It had to be Trump himself. That's right. Trump wants.
She said that already. You're
Oh,
bro. So here. Look, we can actually. The game I want to play is actually kind of fun. So I've done. It's no surprise. People have talked about it. You've talked about it. That we do research behind the scenes for stuff that the Crucible is working on. So one of the things that I and my team, Splinter team, have done is gone through and cataloged everything that she said in the past year with absolute certainty. Not her I thinks and I likes. We cut those out, but just the stuff that she's like, this is an indisputable fact. So I have 13 pages of these in a PDF that you've got access to. You'll be able to find it in our private chat. But I'd like to give a little preview. I want you to pick a page, and then I'll give you like a breakdown. You could pick a random number in that page, and I'll give you her crazy conspiracy theory and on the day she gave it to me. So okay. Pick a page 1 through 13 to start with.
Page 7.
Page 7. All right. 1 through 6.
Let's go 4.
All right. Number 4. On September 12th, 2025, Candace Owens says, without a doubt, a secret blackmail meeting was held by Bill Ackerman to pressure and pay Charlie to stay pro-Israel and not change his positions.
She just, like, the idea that she's so certain about this stuff, it just blows my mind. The one part of this that I worked on, and I didn't work on the document you're talking about, but Andrew was like, hey, Rob, what evidence do we have that Macron's wife is actually a woman?
Zeros.
I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, call her up, like, hey, do you have any risque photos?
Call up the French government and you ask them what they found in her trash cans when they were very much outside her house in like uniform, digging through her trash cans that she didn't get any pictures of.
Did she really say Trump was behind the shooting at some point?
Yeah, she implies it a few times. That's not one of the ones that's in this document that she says indisputable, like with 100% certainty. But give me another page. Let's do another one.
All right, let's do one earlier. Let's go page 2, number 2.
Page 2, number 2. Oh, this one's a good one. The HPV vaccine, this is a vaccine for women, is actually a big pharma weapon that is only being used to control women.
Oh, nice. So, like, how's it controlling women? Like, psychologically, or?
No. Her claim, it's in one of her crazy videos that she keeps unlisted, but you can still find if you know how to track them down. She claims that it's essentially got like SSRIs built into it that dampen their mood and that will give them other diseases, to go in and have to like spend more money at the doctor, and it reduces like fertility and all this kind of stuff. I mean, the list is crazy long of things that the HPV vaccine does that's not preventing cervical cancer.
It's just like, I don't know, like, what happened to her? Like, she was, if you remember, she was like, the first start of her I remember was when she did the, basically the Blexit movement, right?
Yeah,
like the blacks leaving the Democratic Party, and then she started to make her name for herself. I don't know if she had money behind her or if it was completely organic. I'm not about to go.
Look, my favorite theory we've come up with this over the last couple of days while doing this research. Actually, my favorite theory, it started out it was just that Daily Wire was like paying her hush money to keep her crazy inside, but it's evolved a little bit that they actually figured out that she was schizophrenic. Oh, excuse me. Let me do it like she does. It is an indisputable fact that she is schizophrenic, and that Daily Wire, part of the contract that she had with them was that she had to be on a highly complex medical cocktail, and it kept her level the whole time. And then when she got fired, the medication dried up, and now she's just gone off the deep end. Indisputable fact.
Now listen, I'll admit, I am going the Candace Owens way of things. So what I'm going to do is, much like her getting hired at the Daily Wire, I plan on eventually like storming out of the Crucible, then making a bunch of accusations that they put hits out on people and, you know, all kinds of just crazy bad shit. Yes, that's my big plan. And then all of a sudden, all the Crucible haters are going to be like, yes, this guy's great. He did a great job. That's sort of what happened with the, you know, say what you will about the Daily Wire. I certainly have my disputes with Ben Shapiro and stuff they've done over there. But man, if you know how to manipulate sort of the online sphere at this point, it's easy. Let me tell you someone who did this that just didn't have the talent. Hunter Avalon, right? Hunter Avalon's
I knew that's where you're going. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew that's where you were going.
He's just the most milquetoast, like Trump support, young guy Trump supporter. And so, once it realizes like there's no talent, well, then I'll just become a Trump hater. And then, of course, you know, Hunter, if you're listening, go back to being a Trump supporter now, man. Like, just keep bouncing back and forth, right? You don't really have anything other than sort of that drama to be able to do. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a shame. And I'm not saying everything she says is wrong or that, you know, that she's the worst person in the world. But my goodness, like, when you're this fucking insane in that everything's a conspiracy, who's going to believe you when you say something that's accurate? She doesn't realize that's what she's doing.
Yeah, she's hitting that boy who cried wolf stage really hard. Because going through her stuff, she actually makes like good like substantive claims, but they're buried in between either the wild accusations of stuff that's 100% true, definitely not true, or her insinuations. But then she'll say like one little small snippet that's actually good that I wish people would like look at. She'll say something like that's in the JFK files or whatever, but it's buried in this whole like aliens shot JFK from the moon and made it look, you know, whatever bullshit she was saying in there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it is. I don't want to listen to anything she's saying. It's not that I don't want to listen. It's not like I'm sitting there and about to listen and then don't. It's just like, I feel like, I don't even bother because it's some of this shit's so crazy that you're like, well, what's even the point? Now, the point would be, Wally, thanks so much, $5, says Rob. If you talk about where the bodies are buried in the Crucible basement, I swear, I worked too hard to hide them. I mean, there's no bodies. Right, Wally. Your persona, you're going to be the very first person that I'm going scorched earth when I leave the Crucible. But no, like, just to finish this thought with Candace Owens, it's like, I don't think she's as entertaining as Alex Jones, if she's in that vein of him, right? And so for me, it's just like, I don't get utility for tuning into her show in the same way that I would if she was only making 1/10 of these like boisterous claims, even if some of them ended up not being true, because it comes across as like someone who's just too far gone. And so so she loses someone like me that potentially would have been an audience to listen to something she was saying, because it's like, I don't know, Candace, you just seem like everything's the wackiest conspiracy theory in the world. So why am I going to pay attention to any of it?
Well, I can tell you that's bonkers. We'll do one more of these in a second, but yeah, 12. I only went back 12 months, mind you. And over 80 claims. That is what, 8 claims, 7 claims a month, 8 claims a month that she's making. And these are just the ones that she says are 100% like undisputed. That doesn't even count the dozens in between each one that's like, you know, I think, and this, you know, that her audience latches onto and then they run with and say it's undisputed. Right. But she's been careful with her language. But yeah, 80 plus claims that she's like guaranteed 100% fact. I have all the proof. I have all the receipts. So let's do one more. Give me one more page. Let's do one more.
Page 5, number 4.
Page 5, number 4. Grok is actually a government weapon specifically programmed to cover for Epstein.
Wow, that's amazing. So wait, now keep in mind, Elon's instrumental to the creation of Grok, who basically fucking storms out of, you know, the Trump administration's like, Trump's in the Epstein files. And I suppose that was all red herring, right? To throw us.
Yeah, it's just a misdirect, bro. Come on, don't you know psyops? Haven't you been doing this long enough? Don't you understand how this works?
I mean, and that's the problem. Once you get to this level, everything's evidence of your claim. Right? Yeah. Well, if something happens, it's the opposite of a claim. Well, of course, that's what they would say because of this. And it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's really sad. But hey, she's doing well in the fact that she's getting a lot of eyeballs on her.
Look, she's making anywhere from based on what Timcast was saying the other day, just doing like a breakdown, and he's very love him or hate him, he knows the business very well. He's one of the first essentially to like do the big monetization across the podcast stuff and all that. His estimation is he's making $4 to $8 million a year off of this ridiculous shit.
Well, I believe it because, robnoerr contacted her and offered her a large sum of money, and then Steven Crowder offered to double it. That was basically over $50,000. Now, for me and you, like, even if I thought I was going to lose a debate for $50,000, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I saw Steven's tweet. It wasn't come in and prove your stuff, and I'll give you this money, or we'll make sure you get this money. It was just show up, bro. I would show up and do a lot of very terrible things for 50 grand or 60 grand or whatever. Like for a day's worth of work, there's not a lot of things I wouldn't do that would be very embarrassing for most people.
No Fed posting, man. No Fed post.
But I mean, if you're making millions, I guess, then 50,000, you're like, whatever.
Bro, honestly, though, even if you're making millions, because I do pretty well. 50 grand for a day of work.
Well, let's also call out Mantid, right? He's yet to call his brother in arm over here so he can deliver his dinner and figure out the price he knows so he can send it to his buddy so his buddy can go to Candlelist for him and his lovely wife for Christmas dinner, and he yet to call.
I will make sure I do that. Yeah, I don't take stuff from other people. I like to be able to do for other people. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Rob and his Iron Crown that
yes, I've lost.
Because she is just crushing you.
I'll have to go talk to Alex Jones and see what I can come up with. I'll be like, Alex, get me back in the game. My favorite, incidentally, I'm gonna hurt myself here because hopefully I'll get to meet Alex soon. But my favorite Alex Jones, like, sort of crazy shit is he was having a custody battle with his wife and stuff. I don't know if this is 100% sure, but this is what I've been told. He was having a custody battle, and his wife accused him of not knowing his children's middle names. And so the judge was like, can you tell us their middle names? And he was like, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had a big bowl of chili for lunch.
I remember that. You're only 2 steps removed from Alex Jones. Like, Crucible has a decent relationship with Jay Dyer, Alex Jones. Like, this is a meeting that could actually happen, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is be like, Andrew, can you just give me Jay's number real quick? Call Jay, be like, hey, Jay, man, hook me up with the A Train, Alex Jones. I need to have a convo.
Not only that, but robnoerr, they have good connections to him. Some of the guys that are working at that. So
you got multiple avenues.
Stay tuned. Yes.
You sitting on your hands, robnoerr.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. It's going to happen soon. Look, once the new year starts, there's actually it's amazing the connections that like the Crucible has. Like, I'll tell you one thing that was odd for me was that's right. I tell all the time. I'll tell my wife. She'd be like, "Did you take the garbage out?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I had a big bowl of chili." No, that's not gonna fly in this house. Like, here's one thing. I did Tim Pool's show. I've talked about this a little. I enjoyed it. I thought Tim liked me. I was only supposed to do the morning show. He asked me to stick around and do the evening show. Had a good time behind the scenes with Tim and I reached out to his team several times afterwards to see if I could get back on the show. No response. What turns out he fired a bunch of that team. So I'm basically texting and emailing people that no longer work there. Probably on phone accounts that don't even exist. And Andrew, who him and Jake and Rachel the other day did Tim Pool's show, and he was basically like, yeah, we have an open invitation. Anytime we're in the area, we could just crash it. And just like, why the fuck didn't you talk to me? Like, yeah, I could call Tim and be like, yeah, Rob's only like 3 hours away. He'll come in anytime. Just give him the heads up. So, yeah, that and some other things. I plan on finally cashing in next year with my credibility, though. With the Crucible, though, it's sad to see that Candace Owens taking my thunder. So I was supposed to be the crazy conspiracy guy.
You're supposed to be the crazy. Well, I'll leave. I have a question for you, and you don't have to answer because it is a financial question. And then I have a comment. So we'll do the question first, and then I'll get out of here after the comment. So the question is, and if it hasn't been brought up in a little while, I apologize. But since the tomato debacle, you've been doing really well on donations. Have you had a day where you've missed donation goal? Like, I know you've had like a morning maybe where you've missed, but then in the afternoon you've made it up and stuff like that. But have you had a day where you've missed donation goals?
One day missed.
Let's go.
Not one.
Honestly, at this point, run a street counter like right next to it. You just need to go back, Find out what day it started, and count the days up and have, because that's incentive enough as well. There's a little marketing tip for you. That's an incentive thing. So 45 days straight of hitting dono goals.
I check it I wait every day. I call Rob. I'm like, did we do it? Did we do it? Oh, we did it, Average.
Yeah. So there's your marketing
night
tip for
shift.
the day.
Now the other day, night shift hit the goal as well. The other day, it was very close, or maybe it didn't. Maybe, no, but it doesn't matter.
Last second, hit the goal right last minute.
Did it? I can't remember, but certainly when you combine, because the goal was $357 a day. When you combine the two, we definitely crunch. Yeah, it's something that I should do. The other thing is, not to talk about it too much, but I am now staying consistent in how much I'm getting a month on YouTube. Last month, it's like, oh, you didn't really grow from last month was November, so from October to November. Except when you consider that I streamed 7 less days and still hit the goal.
Still we can change, yeah.
Because I was down at DebateCon. And and the streams I did there were very much just real quick from the phone, which I would hardly count. So yeah, it's certainly gone very well.
Nice. All right. Well, my comment outside of you saying that you're finally going to capitalize in 2026, I want to give you a bunch of credit, and I hope a bunch of other people have noticed this because it seems to be a consistent thing in the Crucible just in general. You clearly have 1 or 2 steps to get to a lot of very big names and haven't bugged anybody about it. You're not, Andrew, get me on Jay Dyer show. Andrew, get me on Tim Pool. Jay, get me on Alex Jones or whatever. That's not a thing that you've done. And I do think you should do it. I'm not saying don't do it now, but I'm saying been in this game for a while, you've been friends with Andrew for a while, even before you were a Crucible employee or whatever. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, oh yeah, Rob reached out and got this. It's always been the other way. It's like Andrew forced me to take this opportunity or, somebody approached me because they saw my show, but it's never Rob did hunting. So that's not a thing a lot of people can say because I do it all the time. I take advantage of my network to get meetings and stuff or FaceTime with people. It takes a lot of humility to not capitalize on that the moment that you have access to it.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad you've noticed. For me, the reason is, you have to understand, me and Andrew started off on, the same level as far as, the amount of people that were watching us, right? When he was doing the politically provoked shit and I was debating. And that's sort of when we became friends back then. Andrew's been incredible, the growth that he's had. And I've said this for years. It was there's a guy who bet on himself. He was I think I could do this. And it's something I never had the courage to do because I wanted the consistent money of a 9-to-5 job. And so I was like, nah, I can stream as a hobby, but I can never do it full-time as a job. And Andrew would always tell me, yeah, man, you could do it. I'm doing it. You could do it. And I was like, I don't know. But I always viewed Andrew as a friend first. And you don't ask in my perspective, you don't ask your friends for shit unless you absolutely need it. And one thing that I'm always worried about is
Avarice, take notes. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm always worried about and leery of is it's amazing to me how many people have reached out to me. And I'm not going to say any names, and it's not anyone that you guys know of. It's people behind the scenes. They'll reach out and be like, hey, I'd love to come on your show for an interview. And I'm like, okay. And then the very next comment is, you think you can get me on with Andrew?
Yeah.
And it's just oh, I see what this is. You don't give two shits.
Do shows and stuff. I know I'm in the Discord and stuff, but I get DMs. They're like, hey, Mantid, I know that you and Andrew talk. Can you get me on his show? I have these things I need to bro, one, even if I have a relationship with him, do you think he's going to listen to a fucking word that I say? And 2, even if he did, I don't know you from Adam. I would never recommend somebody I don't know to go on a show like this.
It's too much. People want to exploit this stuff. And look, I'm probably do it less than I should even, because I think at some point, that's what Andrew tells me all the time. Andrew's like, why don't you fucking just say and now he does shit I'm not going to talk details, but Andrew will be like, listen, when we're at this thing, you're going to talk to this person. I'm going to introduce you, right? Don't give me this. No, I'm not trying to exploit our friendship. You're going to fucking talk to this person. I'm like, okay. But yeah, to me, I'm always fearful that I don't want it to come across as that I'm exploiting someone for their relationships or something like that. So I'm glad that it's noticed. But yes, for years and years, and I would have been happy if I never worked at the Crucible officially to just be Andrew's friends behind the scene. And even when I was I'm talking to Andrew all the time, and I never brought up oh, bring me on the Crucible, do this. And I was like, nope, I'll do my own thing. And so yeah, I'm glad it's appreciated. So
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll stroke Andrew's ego a little bit, and somebody can clip farm this and throw it out there as well. I don't know of anybody outside of maybe Mr. E. I don't know of anybody else that gets money from Andrew for doing stuff that they have asked for it. Like, I got forced to take money for doing the research and stuff, and I got told, like, hey, you're going to come out to these events anyway. Let me pay you to follow, to do security stuff as well. It was never something that I proposed or asked for, and you're the same boat. I'm very well aware of the story of how you got brought on. It wasn't, Andrew, please give me a job. It was, Rob, you're too talented to be doing this. Come over here. Let me pay you. Plus, you make me look good with your research and prep work.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. And by the way, with the research and prep work, it's always a pleasure to work with you behind the scenes. I think you do a phenomenal job over there. But
I just wanted to throw out there too. It's not, and technically, just from where I am too, it's not what you can do, like what they can do for you. It's what can you do for the crew, right? It's not what Andrew, in my opinion, is doing his thing, and we just learn and get his ideology. It's what do we add to it, right? Like when I give game servers or whatever, that's addition, right, or whatever. There's nothing on the side. Or nothing expectation in that. I think expectation is where they go wrong, right? It's what can you provide? In Mantid, you do a lot. Like you provide a lot and you ask for nothing in return. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. And you have to respect that, right? That's where you start from. It's every man should come into the space, and once your foundation is good, right? And then it's what can you provide? And once you start, those are the things that should be more important. It's the community, not a taking, like not a takership, right?
Yeah,
no,
totally agree. Well, speaking of which, this next color we're going to take a lot from. No, I'm just kidding, man. Dude, it's always a pleasure, man, for real. So hopefully we'll talk soon. But
I'm sure we will. I tagged you in that document, by the way, so you have access to it.
Yes,
now. Yeah,
maybe that's something I'll bring up. Yeah, it's great. All right, thanks so much, man. We'll talk soon.
No problem. Catch you later.
Yep. All right. Another super chat from our friend Wally. $10 says, we're getting in front of this. There are no bodies, no basement, no flesh-eating lab-grown monsters, and no research into making people ultramarines that is ethically questionable at best. Dude, I've said it. Like, they ought to take blood samples from Avarice and give them to our military so that they just have incredible energy. Like, I can't do it. I don't know how you, like... You'll be on my show late at night, and then you're off doing other stuff afterwards, and I'm like crashing in bed.
Well, you know what it is? It's just I was gifted with like a lot of hope and inspiration. I talk about this a lot, so like I'm always like hopeful and excited about the next thing. So I just keep that train moving,
Mm-hmm. Probably our last caller of the day. Our good friend.
I saw one flashing in and out, so I don't know if he's going to come back in.
Well, yeah. Well, we still have 40 minutes. So, yeah, if you still want to get in, please feel free.
Yeah, get those.
We'll take the calls. Get those donos. Now, listen, we hit the goal. That's awesome. You guys are the best. But just so you know, Night Shift been slacking off. They really have. So, if you really want to stick it to them, keep getting those donos in, and we'll show those Night Shift bastards. See, look at this right up. BJC, $5 says, don't be fooled. Rob's conducting a psyop to get others to advocate for him so he can keep his hands good, boosting his public image.
Exposed.
Huge brain moment here. That's right.
That's why Avarice is going into all those little
Shut this guy up. Someone shut this guy up. Yeah.
Wait. Where is it? I got a way to shut him up. Where is it?
Tariff.
That's right. We'll tariff everyone. Get him, Trump. All right. Let's bring in our next caller.
This is my favorite caller. I'm going to go in the back as soon as I give him his introduction, but it's a must.
All right. Here we go.
Zach Gelpy, everybody.
Hey!
It's Zach Gelpy. It's Zach Gelpy.
What's up, everyone?
What's happening? How you doing today, man?
I'm good. Just doing some candidate recruitment calls for school board elections in Maine. It's kind of weird. There's over 300 school districts in the state of Maine, and they all have different times when there's elections for school board members.
That's crazy.
they're big. A big tranche of them is in March, so I'm kind of getting ready to do recruitment and figure all that stuff out for that. And then in June is another big month for that, and April is pretty big as well. So it's yeah, and then also the legislative stuff that we're going to be doing later on. But that's tomorrow's problem.
Sure. Yeah, crazy. Never ends. It's never ending.
No, it never ends. It never ends. But I had a really good conversation with a guy who's a county GOP guy. He's just gotten into politics about a year ago, and is, without even knowing anything, Rob, this guy is squared away, already had this sense of confrontational politics. Like I was just kind of nodding, being like, yep, this is exactly what you need to do. So he's going to be a good ally in an area of the state that, embarrassingly, we don't really have many contacts in. So it was a very good conversation.
That's awesome. That's great.
So that was good. I want to touch up on a couple things. What Mantid said just a few minutes ago is very true. You want to go into relationships, not what you can get, but what you can provide to other people. And once they see the value in you, that's when you're actually going to see success, is through the eyes of what I can provide to the other person, and not what I can get from the other person. Because people can intuitively tell where your intentions lie. And that hit home with me.
Well, so let's take this to politics for a second. This is something I learned, right? So I go in as like sort of like just like a cannonball when I started to meet these people politically, where I was like, I think the system fucking sucks. In Pennsylvania, I think the Republicans basically suck and they haven't been doing much. So I'm going in there and I'm going to run for office and this, that, and the other. And that's sort of my perspective. Now, I agree with that perspective largely. However, understand that there has to be some compromise, because a lot of these people, even if I think they've been ineffective, they've been doing this for a long time, and they don't want some dude like me coming in and being like, y'all suck, and blah, blah, blah. So you got to have like some sort of compromise. One of the things that I realized, like, to have a little humility is to constantly, instead of just going in like that, be like, what can I do to help you? Right? And this is going to sound stupid, but this is something I learned as a young man, and I used to do this all the time in debate. You want to know something little that I do? Every single time, every time that I go to one of these events, and it's I'm capable of doing this. Sometimes you got to leave early and shit like that. I stick around afterwards and I clean up garbage, and I fold chairs and I put them away, and I fold the table. And it's like, well, what good is that? Because you're just making yourself useful, even if it's something like that.
Yeah.
You just want to make people, it's one thing to say, hey, what can I do for you? It's another thing to just do little things. If you're just doing little things like that, you're letting people know, I'm not here to just exploit you. That's not the point. And that's constantly like sort of the mantra that I've tried to live by. When it comes to the Crucible, that's exactly what my mentality was. I'm here as an employee of the Crucible. I'm here as someone who's a member of the Crucible team. My goal isn't to use that. My goal is, what can I do to benefit the people that are in there and to benefit Andrew and others? You should have the same approach politically. And I think the mistake people make politically is they want to be the big dog. I want to be the senator. I want to be the governor. I want to be the campaign manager. I want to, right? And it's like, you're probably not going to be, at least not initially. Now, maybe you'll work your way up there.
Yeah.
But you have to do the steps behind the scenes. You have to let people know, like, this guy's not just here for himself. This guy's here because he's actually helping. He believes in the mission. He's helping other people. It's not just what benefits me personally. And no matter what it is in life, if it's politics, if it's, you at your, whatever your job is, I think you'll find that you have a better chance of success if you approach the thing saying, how can I be a member of this team? What can I do to help people? As opposed to like walking into it the opposite, saying, well, what do I get out of this? What are people going to do for me? So
100% agree. 100% agree. In my career, and be willing to do things, especially if you're starting a new thing. Be willing to be humble and learn. Like when I first got into politics, I mean, I was 19 years old, and I was very shy, very introverted, but I got up the courage to go and ask for a internship at a congressional race, thinking, oh my God, this is a big deal. Not knowing now, being kind of the guy getting interns, that we love interns. It's free labor. But, you know, at the time, my mentality was, okay, I'm going to work for free, but I'm going to learn and get connections, and I'm going to work my ass off, and they're going to see the value. Whoever's in charge is going to see the value in me. And that's how I bet on myself, and it worked out. Now, I was blessed to have a great mentor in the very beginning that did see that, but he wouldn't have seen it if I went in, well, I want, you know, to have a paid internship. No, I worked my ass off. I was there opening the office and closing the office at midnight every night. And he then offered me a paid internship, and then offered me, you know, an actual paid staffing position and things of that nature. And that's how I built my career. It's a very useful trait to have, is you know, to want to be of service to people, and to have that mentality.
Yeah,
Now,
it definitely. Look, it's tough. I understand. Like for someone like me specifically, people. I guess everyone tries to sound like a magnanimous person, right? Like even if you're not, because there's utility in trying to sound magnanimous. So you don't have to take my word for it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I want to provide for my family. That's it. That's my primary focus, right?
Yeah.
But I'm doing that, right? And I don't have to be rich. I don't really give a shit. And I don't have an ego where I need to be the big guy that's like, you know, the president or the head of an organization. I don't need that, right? So that it's easy then for me, once I embrace that it's like, yeah, it's easy to say, well, how can I be utility to others? Right.
Yeah.
But you should, if you try to adapt that mindset, like have a goal for yourself and then ask, okay, how can I be a utility to others once I start meeting those goals? For me, though, part of my goal is like, I want serious political change against corruption, and I'm impatient, right? I don't want to be told like, well, wait, next year, 4 years, we gotta, 4 years from now, we could finally start pushing this. I don't want to hear that. Right. And so it's easy for me to then be like, okay, well, then I'm going to go in with this fuck you attitude. I don't got 4 years. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of waiting. But there's a sort of a middle ground that you could take where it's like, you could be passionate, you could push for change. And you also say like, well, what can I do to make that happen by helping other people? And I think that that's usually the best way to go through it with politics.
100% agree. And here's the thing. It's not a magnanimous position. You get ahead by doing service for others.
Yep.
So, like at the end of the day, it helps you to help other people. And when they see the value in you actually working hard for them, then they'll reciprocate.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're total dicks, and then they're not worth your time to do it anyway. And
Yep.
you learn that lesson too, on, you know, who to work with and who not.
Yep.
But the other thing I was just curious. I just caught into the latter end of your show. What did you think of the Crowder interview with Fuentes? I actually thought it was very good. But
I didn't. I only watched like the clip that I saw that was like, let's go rapid fire. Do you hate all Jewish people? No. Do you like, that's the only part of it I saw, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I will say this, brave of Crowder to have him on, in this sense that he is a poison pill. I can't have Nick on YouTube. I could talk to him on Rumble, but I can't talk to him on YouTube because I know what'll happen, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't officially lose your channel, YouTube ain't happy about that. And so, you know, it's so from the perspective of that, good on Crowder for having him on and trying to have a conversation. I'll get to some more specifics here in a second because I think you've watched it, so I'll ask you some things. But also, I think it also shows, even if you hate Fuentes or whatever, the ability to diversify your platforms. Crowder's primarily streaming on Rumble now, and it's important to be on platforms where you can have conversations with people because that sort of shit's not possible on like a place like Twitch or YouTube. So,
Yeah.
did Crowder, did he push back a little more than like Tucker on some of his stuff?
Way more than Tucker. Tucker was blowing him.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Crowder, I mean, Crowder was very respectful in his questions, but and his concerns. He did push back, but not in a adversarial way,
Right?
Which is, you know, for an interview that's how it should be.
Correct.
So yeah, no, I was happy with it, and you know, the thing is, do I like Nick? Absolutely not. Do I believe him that he says he doesn't hate all Jews? No, I don't. I don't believe that. But you know, I think it's smart of him. So he's already has his base of people, and he wants to branch out and become a little more mainstream. And the only way to do that is to have a nuanced positions. And it's brilliant of him to do so. But, you know, did he have a change of heart, or, you know, did he not deny the Holocaust? Yeah, no, he did. So like a lot.
Well, he's in a weird. You could go with it either way, right? Like you could say, okay, Nick really believes all that shit that he said, you know, or you could say, no, he was just being hyperbolic. Either way, the point is, if you want to branch out and start to have real world change, like you're gonna have to fucking get away from that. You have to. Yes. And I had my first run in with the group. I didn't know who they were. So like 2.5, 3 years ago, there's this left-wing streamer named Stardust, right? And I don't know why. I interacted with her several times before, but I was heading to work and I saw she was streaming. And so I clicked on the stream, and it's just like, it was this dude Beardson, who's one of the like top Groiper dudes. Yep. And he's on there, and he's just like, you're ugly, and he's basically making racial comments to her because I don't know if she's of Indian descent or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it was like, well, everyone's afraid to call in, blah, 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 blah. And I called in, and it was the same thing. They called me fat and shit and this, that, and the other. And what I was trying to tell them, I don't mind the jokes and shit. I don't care. But what I was trying to tell them, and I end up going to be right about this, was your movement's a fucking joke. No one's going to take it seriously until this sort of shit stops. Right? And to the effect that Nick is an entertaining, talented, and intelligent individual, I don't think you can say that about like this crew that's just on there. And it's like, I think you guys are a detriment to the very movement that you say to be supporting. And it's one thing if it's just like, well, we're an online movement, but what they are on there pitching was, oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene's coming to our thing, and this politician's coming to our thing. And I was like, yeah, when they see this video, they're going to fucking run, right? Because they can't be connected to this fucking crazy bullshit. They can't. And I was like, if you guys want to have a serious political, you could be the fucking lol, you know, doing it for the lols online meme trolls. That's fine. Or you could be we're a serious political movement, but you ain't going to be both. And so you're going to have to pick, you know.
It's interesting you say that, because when he was saying, what was it? I forgot what Nick called it, but I guess he was activating his people to start putting pressure on politicians for certain things. And he did it back in 2020, you know, having people door knock for specific issues and things of that nature. And he was trying to do it in Michigan for in 2024 to put pressure on Trump. And then he said they kind of kiboshed it because Trump was going to be a foregone conclusion. He was going to win due to the polls and things like that. So he didn't see the benefit of keeping that program going. So that tells me he's moving over from just entertainment and, you know, doing stuff online, that he actually wants to move over, not just culturally, but politically. And if that's the case, and he wants to activate his people, they need to, as you said, radically change their rhetoric. And I think that's what he is doing at the head, which is very smart. Very smart.
And it's
but
definitely.
I still don't believe him.
Well, that's just it. Now, for those of you that are like, bullshit. Nick was being hyperbolic, blah, blah, blah. Can you at least admit this? If he wasn't, this is exactly what you would expect from him. Again, I'm not saying that's proof, but I'm just saying, because there's a lot of people that'll be like, for me, it's like I've heard Nick say some like contradictory things about this stuff. So there's two ways to look at it. Like, one, he's just sort of not thinking through it, or second, that he's being hyperbolic with some of the shit. I tend to believe that if he really believed that he hated all Jews, this is exactly how you would try to be like, I'm just joking around. Come on,
Well,
I know,
I don't know about you, Rob, but as a fat guy throughout my life, you get made fun of for being fat. And sometimes when it's your buddies, you take it as a joke. But then there's some people that are saying it, and they say they're joking, but you really fucking know they're not joking.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Look at this big guy below me.
Shut up, fucking
avarice.
Dick avarice.
He's
Wait till you see him put on a tiny hat.
So no,
I have one somewhere. I can put it on for you.
I don't know if we can get them with a Normal America logo. I haven't thought of that. Then Nick, the groupers would really be.
Oh, they would really hate you.
I did like it. I will say this though. Yeah, it's fucking terrible, but
yeah.
Here's the thing. I still could laugh at it. Like some of the Nick memes or some of the funny shit. Like the one I couldn't help but laugh, and it's so silly. Of course, I don't share this opinion, but it was just the meme was like me when I wake up and have my first drink of coffee in the morning. It's just an 8-second clip. It's just Nick takes a drink of coffee, and it's like, so the Jews, and then it cuts off. It's like, it's funny.
And
you can easily see the person that clipped that being a Jewish person that doesn't like Nick. It's like, it's kind of making the point that's all you talk about, dude. Like, that's it.
And the thing is, he's very entertaining. He is funny. I will say that. He is very funny in a lot of the things that he says. And he's very intelligent. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. The thing that I think was a big mistake, and he's the very antithesis of this. When you cancel someone, or you try to push back so hard to make sure that someone can't say something, it makes what they say, even if it's insane, it makes a value to it. Whereas if you actually have a debate like Crowder did yesterday on specific things, and just have the war of ideas, then the best ideas will come out on top if you have someone who can convey their worldview in a coherent and logical way. That's what you do very well. That's what Andrew does very well. And if you had folks such as yourselves to debate someone like a Fuentes or someone like a Candace or whatever in these, hot button topics that you disagree on, then, you guys are going to win out on whatever topic that is, whatever that may be. And that's where it really needs to go. You can hate me. You can say all the, derogatory things to me all you want. I don't care. It's part of having free speech. It's not to protect the things you like. It's to protect the things you don't like. And that's where it's crucial. And that goes into with Candace. She was a leftist. I don't think she's ever stopped being a leftist. She just saw an opportunity in the right to move to the right. That's what I think happened with her, because the tactics she's using just on the conspiracy front, right? She throws in just one stream, like 20 different conspiracies out there. So it's impossible for one to really hone down to see if one particular thing is true or not. And she does it on purpose. It's the same type of tactic the left does. They throw all these different radical policies. So it's kind of whack-a-mole. Where are you going to go with it? How are you going to combat all of them at once?
Yep.
And it's kind of the same. That's why I think she might be a Fed. She might be that. I think she might be, kind of just.
Now listen, you're going to get they're already calling Nick a Fed. I
don't actually think he is. I think he legitimately believes in what he says.
Yeah. I agree. So, hey, Wally, or Wally, you see, I saw you said the back. Zach, I always appreciate it, man.
Yep. Have a good one. Thank you.
Yep. We'll talk soon. All right.
Look at Wally. I see you back there. All right, you want to mess with the bull? You're gonna get the horns.
Yeah.
I see you back there. I'm already.
Kokomo, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Really appreciate it. Still time to get those donos in. We got 2 more callers. They're both going to be great. First, we got our good friend who appears to not be welding today. He appears to be driving. But keep getting your donos in. Kurt, what's happening today, man?
What's up, brother? What are you doing?
Nothing. Just wrapping up the show, having a great day. How about yourself?
That's awesome, man. I've been doing good. We're moving shops. My shop's moving from, we're moving from one place to another place. So I'm operating this lull right here, trying to get all the shit unloaded. Hearing you guys talk and, having a good time.
Good shit, man. That's great. You excited for the move?
Yeah, we're doing something. Being productive. Maybe not excited to move. They made me a manager and then was like, hey, we also need you to take care of everything else. And I was like, awesome.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
All right, by the way, with this responsibility, you're getting a whole lot of bullshit, too. So it's like, great. Yeah.
Yep, I know.
Anyways, I was just calling to be like, man, this guy is always like, it's so bad faith when you talk to any of the Israelis. They're just so, it's like, we don't know why. He's just crazy, the guy. It's so bad faith. God.
Yep, I know. It really is.
Yeah, dude.
What'd you think about the pipe bomber thing? Did you see any of that yet?
What did they get her? There was that one lady, she was like working for the FBI, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, that lady, it turns out that they had to retract that story. So they got some other guy yesterday. And so now it's what's his motivation? See a Trump supporter, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's some appears to be like an anarchist guy. So.
Oh, okay. So I thought they had the gate. Wasn't like their gate was off or something like that. It was like, it was definitely this dyke lady. And then
that's what the Blaze said. And then it turned out that apparently they've retracted and that wasn't the case. So, but I'm going to talk about it a lot tonight in the show later tonight with the details. But yep, they finally arrested someone. So
yeah, they're not going to do anything about it.
Probably not. So,
like everything else.
It's always a pleasure, my man. Have a good time there as best as possible with work. But man, it's always great to hear from you.
All right, brother. You take it easy.
You too, man. Kurt, great guy. Again, I think that as far as call-in shows, I have to have more actual blue-collar fucking workers calling to my show than any other channel out there on a daily basis. I'm so proud for that. So, yeah, Kurt is amazing. All right. Last caller of the evening. Is it evening? No, it's afternoon. What the hell am I talking about? Our good friend Wally. How you doing
how's
today?
How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to hear from you.
It's great to see you again. I applaud your fortitude and your courage for showing your face in public faithfully the past week after the shellacking you took defending Freddy Krueger.
Now, listen, I knew you were going to say this, so I actually, in case people missed it, my great editor, Black Elk, puts up this video. My most embarrassing debate loss ever. There it is. So you guys could go check. I did. I took the L, and not just, you're just saying it. No, I actually lost, given that I was voted to have lost and got booted, my ass booted from the show. So then I was expecting that you would go on to win the whole event, and then you lost to Speakeasy on his own show. What's up with that, huh?
I don't know. I was out in the semifinals, I think, by the time I went to bed. It was like 5, 6 in the morning at that point. I felt it the next day.
Yeah. Plus, you were like, I had a little glass, like a little lowball glass of just a little bit of Knob Creek whiskey. You were drinking like a fucking mug of Crown Royal. Yep. I was like, whew, good luck with that, man.
And when I over poured because I thought there wasn't that much left in the handle, yeah, that last mug of it that I have, which I think was like my third on the show, was just like straight whiskey, the whole damn thing.
Yeah, I was like, man, good luck to you. That's going to be a late night. And they do stay up until the wee hours of the morning, you know.
Look, Wally debating while intoxicated is built different from other people who debate while intoxicated.
Yes, right. I always, you know, I could argue while drunk, but when I did debate in college, like as much as I was an alcoholic, I was very serious about not drinking when I was like doing that. So it was funny, all these people in the debate communities, left-wing nerds, they would hear these stories about me. And so the last debate I did, the national debate tournament, we got a hotel to stay an extra night. So the last night was the first time I ever got to drink with them. And I thought like, yeah, okay, these guys, they'll keep up with me a little. It was embarrassing. Like we're at the hotel bar at this fancy hotel, and they're like trying to buy me all these fancy wines and beers and shit. I'm drinking Busch Light. You know, I'm on like my 25th of the night, and they're just like one or two. They're like, I feel sick. I'm going to go to bed. I'm like, what the fuck? You fucking nerds. Like, come on. You know, not that I'm clarifying alcohol use, but it was pretty pathetic. Their effort, even among like, you know, nerd standards, was very weak. It was a very weak effort from the debate community. So,
yeah, I always have just kind of embraced the fact that the kind of people who will roam your average debate panel online are the type of people who will drive you to drink anyway if you let them. So you might as well just roll.
That's a great point. That is really great. So, anyways, what about the you know, you literally burying bodies for the Crucible in a basement? That's obviously just a joke. Obviously.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
There's no such thing.
That's fair. Oh, see, now we got people in the audience that are relitigating.
I'll tell you what else there isn't, Rob. There certainly isn't a secret society where we all traffic small, unique gold coins between each other as a secret currency.
I've heard that doesn't exist.
It's
amazing. It's amazing how many times I hear about that not existing.
Yeah, I hear that it doesn't exist all the time.
Yeah, it's something to often talk about. What do you think about the Pumpkinhead movies?
The first one I remember being pretty good, but they made less and less sense the more they made them.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to Hellraiser in that I feel like the monster was sort of secondary to the plot. Like the first Hellraiser, Pinhead's less important than the plot than you would think.
He's in Hellraiser less than Hannibal's in Silence of the Lambs, if you do the math. And I believe he says even less.
Yeah. But then they're like, "Ooh, this is kind of a cool monster, so we're just gonna now make the series about him." That's the way Pumpkinhead was. The first Pumpkinhead movie, it's like I'll give the bare bones if you've never seen it. If I remember,
Voodoo Curse brings Thing back from
dead. So like this monster, you could basically call on to do this ceremony to call on to have him kill someone that you want vengeance for. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it's this guy's kid gets killed. And so he calls upon this monster to get vengeance for his kid. And then, of course, as you may predict, it doesn't go as he planned because the monsters... Yeah. So, so it's like the monster represents like this tool of vengeance. And then if I remember correctly, after the first one, it was like, oh, we're just going to hyper-focus on the monster and it's going to be less about... They all do this. Jaws did it.
I would say in their case, with Pumpkinheads... And even the worst ones, the practical effects for the monsters stayed pretty good.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
like, Hellraiser 2 is my other favorite sequel aside from Halloween 2. And a big reason for that is like all the practical effects in Hellraiser 2, especially, but also in the first one, are phenomenally impressive.
It's creepy too. Like the Hellraiser series is so creepy. It was so different than what horror movies were doing at the time. Like, you know, what do you think about last horror question, right? Since you brought up Halloween, very controversial. What do you think about Halloween 3? The season of the witch, the one that's just totally has nothing to do with Michael Myers. Back when they thought that it was basically going to be Halloween was basically going to be like an anthology type series of just different stories.
Which you could have done if Michael was not in Halloween 2, then Season of the Witch would have worked better. But when you had the continuity of the first two movies, switching to an anthology didn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree.
And the funny thing is but they were kind of right, because when they did listen and bring back Michael for part 4, I don't think it did any better at the box office than part 3 did. So it's like, oh, well, that was so much better than trying something different again.
Yeah, I actually like Halloween 3. Like, if it wasn't a Halloween
never
movie,
minded it. I think the Halloween movies are another one. They get worse the more you go. Like, it's a steady downhill. There really is no up. But then I really liked Rob Zombie's remake, and that was divisive for a lot of people.
yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the first remake. The second one wasn't so bad. I'm a sucker for, I think maybe the reason, I'm trying to find a picture here for Halloween 3.
Let me show you my birthday present I bought myself after VK last weekend. It's on the wall.
Oh, the sword? Wow. Thundercats.
Yep.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
This is my new baby.
That is awesome. Do you collect a lot of stuff like that?
This is actually the first weapon replica I've ever bought.
That's awesome.
If I was going to spend serious money on anything else that was in there, because they had some random sword and said this is from Warcraft, and I'm like, well, if I don't recognize it, I don't give a shit.
The sword I would want is the Conan the Barbarian sword. If I was going to get a replica, that would be the one. I'm a big Conan fan. I wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
I would want. What was I? I would actually, if I was going to get anything, it would be the Frostmourne sword from World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm a Lich King fanboy. I don't care. I'm going to buy one of those eventually. I don't care if I got to drop like 300 for that. I will.
Now, I think this is maybe why I like Season of the Witch. This guy, I don't even know his name, the actor. Now, this is going to make me sound like someone who enjoys the company of men more than I actually do. But there's something about like just a normal looking dude with a mustache being the main character. But I thought this guy did a great job, this actor. A great movie, just like some normal dude that's like all of a sudden finds himself with this crazy conspiracy. It's good shit. Watch Halloween 3 and tell me that it's not. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, but it's very controversial because some Halloween fans, if you're a big Michael Myers fan, you hate that fucking movie because it's like, how could there be a Halloween movie without Michael Myers in it? But I think it's a good movie. I like the mustachioed protagonist. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, there was a Jason movie without any Jason in it. That was
the
part
first.
5. No, part 5, where it was the ambulance driver.
Oh, that's right. Wow, it's been forever. Yeah.
Because they wanted to do a similar thing where they said, we're going to switch from actually killing Jason for good in part 4, the final chapter. We're now going to have the hockey mask be taken up by different copycat killers.
Yeah. Well, it didn't work so well. Then
that would just make every single sequel a whodunit slasher movie over and over again.
Like Scream. It would basically been Scream. That's what they did, right? As long as we're wearing the same mask. Like, you really got to give it to, these copycat killers in the Scream franchise. They're always putting the same mask on. I mean, that's attention to detail. Good work for them, I guess.
I have... Maybe the 7th one is going to be good.
Screams. Is that what they're at? 7?
Yeah, because at least they got rid of the cast from the revival, the past 2 movies. So that's still an improvement.
Right.
And I guess they're having Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox come back again.
They ought to have... Yeah. It's a parody series. I agree. They ought to have... You know who the killer should be in the next one if Courtney Cox is going to be in it? Jennifer Aniston. Just have her and the other woman from Friends. Have them be the killer. And just do it totally.
Jennifer. That's what they could do. Do a new Leprechaun and bring Jennifer Aniston back as her character from the first one.
Dude, did you see the WWE Studios Leprechaun movie?
I did not, but I know they did it purely because one of their wrestlers played the Leprechaun for that one.
It's brutal. Yeah, it was definitely brutal. All right, Wally, I gotta go. I gotta pick up my son here soon, but it's always a pleasure, man.
The
Have a
shirt.
good
Call
weekend.
out that bloody shirt of his.
Oh, yeah, that's the Red
Avarice.
Lantern.
I knew Avarice was going to get
I've
triggered
been
by the
waiting
Red
this whole
Lantern
time, so
shirt.
I came in with the King of Avarice, the scary and powerful fire demon.
Yes,
to eat your rage shirt up.
That's
Welcome to my Christmas sweater.
That is a great Christmas sweater.
Yeah, you like that?
That's
it's
phenomenal.
Avarice's Christmas sweater, just to one up that stupid rage shirt.
Yeah.
Rob,
I
you
like
have a great weekend. Millie says hi to you and Courtney as well.
Thank you, man.
Pass
Tell her
that
we said.
along.
Tell her we said hi. My wife's in the chat. I'm sure she'll say she said hi too. But you guys are the best. We'll talk soon, man.
Have fun.
Later, Wally.
It was a pleasure to finally lose a debate concisely and have it be to Wally. I'll take it.
I was actually saving this for a special occasion for our Christmas episode, but
I'm a scary and powerful. He is a scary and powerful.
Yeah, he was wearing the rage shirt, so I had to come out with King Avarice. This is actually, do you know what this is?
No.
This is from a let's say animated movie from Studio Ghibli. It's called Howl's Moving Castle.
And
this is Calcifer, and he's like literally wants everything.
I thought it was just a clever thing that someone made up and put in a shirt. Oh, see,
Yeah,
Naughty Germ got it. Yeah. Bandit, thanks so much. $5 says that's Tom Atkins. He was the father in Creepshow rapper. Oh, Creepshow's a great movie. And his daughter in the movie jumps at the beginning of Lethal Weapon. Oh, look at that, Bandit. All right. Well, one last chance to get your super chats in. Avarice, what do you got going on today?
We have the night show today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. And I'm working on new robnoerr music today with Suno, so that's going to be fun. So we can come out with some fun things, because I was a little frustrated that I couldn't use the Luke Combs hurricane song or tornado song for Miggy. So that's now like my autistic brain is now like, I must have an entry song for Miggy.
Good stuff. Miggy, yeah, that's great. All right. Well, I'm getting text here. I think it's early pickup for my son today. That's all right. We'll make it in time.
Last thing, I have an idea. What we need is a new layout too, a new one that comes down the middle that just says paywall.
Like, oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, it just says paywall.
We could do that. Yeah. And then you have to pay to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, to get the paywall removed.
Smart. That's very smart.
Just like these Times articles, right?
Yes, right. I'll just sit here. I'll be like this on mute. And you could come on and be like, I have Rob's mic muted until we get to
the paywall goes down.
Get to the paywall. Yeah. So he's probably saying some great shit. So. All right, Avarice, thanks so much for everything today, man. I'll see you later tonight.
I'll see you tonight, crew and Norians and people in chat.
Thank you so much. Now, we're only $20 away from 400. Someone could donate $20 here as we go out. But allow me to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to everyone that donated. It means so much to me and my family. Thank you guys so much. Having said that, keep getting donos. No, you guys are the best. So $20 more, we'll get to $400. I just want to say thanks so much to everyone who donated, everyone who called in. Thank you to Avarice. Thank you to my editor, Black Elk. Thank you to all my moderators. You guys are the best. Thank you to everyone who liked the stream and everyone who just watched, whether you commented or not. You guys are the best. I need to click someone to raid, and I've been messing around. So give me 1 second. Who's it going to be?
EOD.
EOD's on?
Yes.
Okay. We'll raid over to... What is going on here? Stop it. Go away. Let's give me the business. It's like end of the year YouTube stuff. A bunch of stuff coming up. EOD. There we are. All right. Thank you guys so much. As we leave here, never forget the memory of Charlie Kirk. We talked a little about Candace Owens here. Whatever your feelings are, he was a great man and a family man, and he was taken from us by a radical lefty and then celebrated by the left. So never forget that. God bless him and his family. Prayers out to them. God bless all of you. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you later tonight around 10 p.m. Eastern. And by the way, thank you to whoever the chat is who's going to donate $20 during the outro. You're the best, so that we can get to 400. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all soon.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.